Trigger warning. This episode contains conversations about sexual assault, rape, and abuse. Listener discretion is advised.
A sneak peek at what's coming up next.
And in your bio, you mentioned that you weren't sure what flavor of gay you are.
Yeah, so this is my coming out year.
I just thought it was funny the way you phrased it when you said, what flavor of gay? So I'm like, what does that mean?
So
I'm Fanta.
Somebody proposed this idea. I was watching something and they said it's not coming out, it's letting others in.
So flavor.
Yeah, flavor.
Tapioca, chocolate.
Definitely a bit of chocolate.
Elderberry.
Definitely dark. So it's more like I know that I'm queer. I know that I'm not straight.
All right, so let's
Welcome to On the Spectrum. My name is Nick.
Welcome to On the Spectrum podcast. My name is Nick.
I'm Steven, and I don't talk like that.
No, he does not. And welcome to another episode of On the Spectrum podcast. As I always do at the beginning of every episode, me and Steve do not presume to be experts of anything whatsoever. We're just two human beings who happen to be diagnosed with autism. We're just on our wonderful journey, learning as much as we can. So yes, we may say some things that are offensive in this. Yes, we might say some things that are really not appropriate. And also we might say some things that might be a little ignorant when it comes to being on the spectrum, when it comes to ADHD, when it comes to the world in general, because we, just like you, are on a journey to learn about ourselves and about the world around us. Now, today, before I say who we have on today, real quick, if you like, dislike, agree, disagree, hate anything you hear today, please give us some feedback, leave a comment on Spotify or any other social media services. And now I'm going to shut the F up.
I would actually prefer if you have actual... if you have feedback that may require some sort of response.
Oh, that'd be great.
Maybe go to Facebook, because on Spotify, I can't respond to your comments. So
go to all the other social media stuff.
Spotify, I read your comments, but people have left comments and I can't respond to them.
That is
so
true.
If you have a question, I can't answer your question. You have to go to Facebook or another platform so I can answer you. That's all I wanted to say. I'm usually the one who checks the Spotify messages.
That is a true statement. I try to ignore Spotify messages, but I read all the rest of them. So anyway, on today's fabulous show, we have a guest. I would have said special guest, but no, it is a special guest.
We're all special here.
Yeah, we're all. That's why, because we're all special. So today we have a guest on our show, Emily. Emily actually is somebody who listens to our show every now and again. Isn't that amazing, everyone? Someone actually listens to our show. But also follows us on other social media stuff too, and requested to be on this show. Isn't that interesting, Steve? Someone actually requested to be on our show.
I can't tell if you're being serious or patronizing right now. Or...
So hi, Emily. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Nick?
I'm well, thanks. I'm really hyper on caffeine, and I just realized while I was doing that introduction that oh my God.
And then you wonder, this is why it's hard to have a conversation with Nick sometimes,
Yeah, that's true.
He gets hyper and doesn't shut the hell up. So.
That's true. So, Emily, tell us about you, because I need to shut the fuck up, apparently.
I live in Atlanta, and I work at a chocolate factory, and they're very neurodivergent-friendly. So I've been promoted twice within the company, and so it's just odd to love what you do, even when it's on difficult days, and we're revving up for the holiday season. So it's.
Are you allowed to say the name of the company, or do you want to keep it private?
Yes, it's Xocolatl chocolate.
What is it? I'm sorry.
Xocolatl. It's the original. Kind of. It's the original word for chocolate. It means bitter water, and we just basically capitalized on the last three letters, which is ATL.
You guys should come up with a chili. Like a chocolate chili bar, and call it Neuro Spicy.
Wow.
That would be really cool, but we're bringing back one that's called Soul Rebel, and it has coconut milk with it and jerk spices. It's super good, but we'll be bringing it back.
I could be wrong, but when you just held that up, I'm pretty sure I've seen that before.
It's in Whole Foods.
Oh, that's why.
I'm pretty sure it's all in the southern region Whole Foods, but I'm not sure about other regions.
I just swear I've seen that label before. life happens. Anyway, so you say that they're friendly to the other typicals or other neuro people. Can you give us an example of how that they are wonderfully friendly to that?
They're very patient. When I get overwhelmed, they don't like, I don't know, they don't make fun of me, or they're just decent human beings. If you guys like documentaries, there's one on Amazon called Setting the Bar. And so the founders are on there, and Matt and Elaine, that's who the founders are. And they go down to Peru and they do the whole chocolate,
the cacao
thing.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's a really good documentary, but they're actually grade A human beings. So it's great to work for them and with them.
It sounds like they're
and I get to make chocolate all day. Yeah, they're very accommodating. During the last promotion, Elaine said, "You have a mind that we need."
A mind that we need.
Yes.
I dig that. That's a.
No one's ever said that to me that I also worked for. So.
That's an awesome compliment.
I've had people say stuff like that to me, but their actions didn't really prove that they were sincere. So
they weren't for you. They weren't.
They're like, "Oh, you're so awesome. You're brilliant." I had this guy that I used to work for who'd all the time say, like, "You're one of the smartest people I've ever met. You're so brilliant. I wish I had a brain like you." And then they're like, "All right, well, we have to let you go. Bye." Thanks.
No.
It's like, what else? All that stuff you said, right? I guess that was just, yeah.
See, and I just get the finger from people. So, you guys actually have conversations. I just get the finger. People don't like to tell me that I think differently. They're just like, no, that's only somewhat true. I only had one boss ever give me the finger, and they were firing me at the time. So
this chocolate company is based in Atlanta?
Chocolate.
Yes.
So what's it? Go ahead.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So what I was going to say was, what is it like living in Atlanta?
It's awesome. So I grew up actually in St. Louis, Missouri. And it's, I like that it doesn't snow here. I was born this month, but I'm really glad that it doesn't snow in Atlanta. But there's always something to do, and the people are friendly, and my boyfriend's family is here.
So I don't know how true this is anymore, but as of like a few years ago, I heard that Atlanta is one of the cities in the country that has the highest population of single women, like especially single professional women. So like if you're a bachelor and you're looking to meet a nice woman, Atlanta's supposed to be a great city because there's more women. The women outnumber men, especially when it comes to like single women. And a lot of women in Atlanta, like there's a lot of working professional women who make good money, and there's not enough single bachelors. I don't know. It's just a weird
or maybe
thing.
they have higher standards.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
No, I meant like, well, from what I had read, it's just that there aren't as many men in Atlanta. Like the women population wise outweigh. The standards thing may play into it too, but I'm just saying like they don't have as many options. Like there's not a lot of, but if you're looking for, I don't know, like a nice professional woman or maybe a sugar mama, I don't know. Atlanta's a place to go.
So if you heard Steve say that and you're an incel, don't move to Atlanta. I'm just saying, like, yes, there are more single professional women there that are probably.
I don't think incels would listen to your.
They still have to want to date you. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, let's just keep it on that standards thing, because I'm assuming in Atlanta women got a little bit higher standard.
So years ago, I was thinking about moving or traveling, and when I was looking for places to go, I was looking up like places that are good to go as a single guy. And it wasn't like I was specifically looking for a city that has way more women or whatever, but I was reading articles, and there was an article about how Atlanta is a great place for bachelors because there's a lot of single professional women there and whatever. Anyway.
That's literally what it sounds like you're saying. You looked up where you would more likely be able to get with somebody in. Like, that's what it sounds like you're saying.
I didn't specifically look
I mean, that was most of my 20s.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, all right.
I wasn't specifically looking for that. I'm just saying I was looking at, like, I wanted to just get out of the area and go travel or something. So I was trying to look for a place that would be, like, I looked up, like, what's a good place to go for a single guy? Like, I was considering going to Tennessee there. What is it?
Memphis?
No,
Nashville?
Yeah, I wanted to go to Nashville because it's supposed to be like there's a lot of great like concerts and music and bars to go to. Atlanta was another place that people recommended. They said it's a fun place to go. There's lots of nightlife and fun stuff to do, and there's apparently a lot of beautiful single women. So,
all right. Well,
I don't know. I'm sorry for bringing it up. It was just something that I thought of.
That's
Whatever.
okay.
We tangent like all hell. I mean, why are we going to stop now? I mean, that's part of the charm of the show.
Yes.
We tell you that it's about this topic and we don't fucking talk about it. But anyway, about you, let's divert back to our interview. I guess. I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to stay on point for the first time. So tell us more about you. So you work in Xocolatl, which is awesome. I mean, straight up, it's awesome. But I'm imagining your entire work experience is like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. Like you show up to work and you've got these weird mythical creatures that actually do all the work, and you just hang out. Like that's what I imagine you do all day.
They fish kids who look like Nick out of the Chocolate River.
Save some for later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolute. So what do you do with your free time? When did you end up getting diagnosed? What, if I can ask, is your official diagnosis of things, or unofficial, whatever way you want to word that? All things are accepted. Let's see. What other questions could I possibly ask?
How about you let her answer one at a time first?
No, I'm going to give you a series of 5. This is like a college thing, okay? It's a series of 5.
Round robin. Let's go.
Exactly. And the last question will always be why or why not. Yeah.
Okay. So when I was 12, so about in 7th grade, I was diagnosed with ADHD. At the time, it was ADD.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the depressive side, and then my dad had it paired with talk therapy, which was apparently kind of unheard of. And then I also was on Adderall, so childhood meth. And then I just don't believe that you should be giving such high drugs to children.
Agreed.
I think it should be paired with talk therapy and other accommodations. But anyway, they didn't really know anything back then. It was the late 90s.
I was about to say, you're saying back then as if it was like 1943. No, like all of us are relatively the same age. Like,
yeah, but still, they didn't know how to diagnose girls. Girls didn't have autism.
Well, I mean, honest to God, like me and Steve, and you've probably heard us say this before, but me and Steve would have never been diagnosed as kids either, just because of the way they looked at autism at the time. And you're right, though, far fewer women were diagnosed than men. You're absolutely right.
I think it also depends on where you fall on the spectrum. Like obviously someone like Temple Grandin, who we've interviewed on the show, like she was nonverbal and she had certain signs that made it more obvious.
Right, a lot more of the stereotypical stuff.
There were things that made it more obvious for her, but women tend to fly under the radar a little bit more to people because, you know,
we're told to shut up and sit down way sooner than boys.
And also back when we were growing up, level 1 wasn't called level 1. It was called Asperger's syndrome at the time. And that in itself, it was believed that predominantly only men could have that anyway. And so like they had some people that would diagnose Asperger's syndrome in women, but for the vast majority, it was believed that that was a boy thing. You know, just like borderline at the time was considered a girl thing, right? Yeah. So.
Anyway, I have in my possession a case study that was done around that time, around like 5th grade, and going through it and what we know now about autism and how it presents in girls. It's really fascinating being like, oh yes, like every page is like, yep, I have autism. Yep, I always had autism. Yep, always had autism.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us get misdiagnosed. Like I was, my story is kind of similar to yours in the sense of like when I was a young teen, I was diagnosed with ADHD or ADD at the time. Well, ADHD because I'm a boy, so they almost always gave ADHD for boys.
Said I was ADD and bipolar.
I got bipolar in my early 30s, which I know I'm fucking bipolar.
Sorry, manic depressive is what they call it.
Yeah. Back then they would have. Well, no, they still wouldn't.
No, it was in high school.
An old ass doctor,
and it was an actual psych office I went to with a psychiatrist and psychologist there, and the That's what they gave me for a diagnosis. So,
But come
and
to
this
find
was in
out,
like the early 2000s, like 2001.
Yeah.
2000.
That's why I say it was an old ass doctor, because at that time it was still called bipolar, even in the DSM. Like it wasn't manic depressive. Anyway, so like all three of us potentially were being misdiagnosed with all those things. By the way, I'm not trying to diminish anything you said about like women being misdiagnosed more often or anything like that. I just find a lot of us in general, especially level ones, a lot of us were misdiagnosed often.
That's why I said
male
I
or
think
female.
it depends on where you fall on the spectrum too.
Yeah.
Like if you have more obvious symptoms.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
For me, I got diagnosed with all sorts of crap that probably wasn't right.
Right. I mean, a lot of us do, because they're shitty fucking doctors.
Clinical
out there.
depression.
Yeah, they're shitty fucking
anxiety
therapists.
disorder, or what is general anxiety disorder?
Yeah, general
all these
anxiety.
different things that they try to give me medication for, treat me for, but didn't actually help me because
Because
it was not the real issue.
Yeah, it wasn't that actually what was going on. So anyway, back to you.
What was the question?
Oh, it sounds awesome, by the way. Like from my perspective and how much I fixate on psychology and shit, the fact that you had a case study done on you, to me, that's fucking great and fascinating.
Yeah.
And fuck, how come I couldn't have one? Like, I'm a little jealous because you were allowed to have a case study done on you and I never did that one.
I'm going to be honest with you guys too. I think we moved past the chocolate factory too quickly because she was talking about how accommodating they were. And I think that it's important for like people who listen to this to like know that there are businesses out there that are accommodating to people with that's one of the biggest struggles that people on the spectrum have to deal with is either like, are you on disability? Do you not work? Or if you do work, like how we struggle to find and keep a job. That's one of like our unemployment rate is like 6 times higher than the average person.
Yeah. Only 15% of level ones fucking work.
Like
we
are
talked the rarity in the autism world because all of us have held jobs.
We talked to Shay Belsky months ago, who works for Mentra, which is a company that hires specifically for people on the spectrum or who have other, mostly neurodivergent people, but just people who need accommodations in general. So like it sounds like this place is great because I would like to find something like that around here, but it's difficult.
Right.
Well, craft chocolate is definitely like a new industry in the United States. A lot of it started in California, like Dick Taylor and Dandelion and all those other craft chocolatiers the chocolate makers. So it's definitely like an industry that's up and coming. We definitely try to be better as far as like how we conduct business with cacao farmers, because chocolate is very much like coffee, as you know, Nick. Like it can only grow like 10 to 20 degrees of the equator. So we have to work with family-owned farms and make sure that everybody is well paid and everyone's paid well above fair trade. So everyone is thriving and not just surviving.
Right.
Our standards is, of course, no child labor or slave labor.
How dare you?
And,
no, I'm just kidding. I prefer chocolate only harvested by tiny hands, okay?
Oh my God. Dude. That's so wrong.
I'm sorry.
Please don't fire me.
I'm sorry. He said tiny hands, and I'm sorry, but all I saw was just Trump picking fucking beans.
I'm so glad I wasn't the only one.
That's what I saw.
No,
chocolate is great. Okay. All right. Sorry. That's the first thing I thought.
I'm just so glad he's not in office anymore.
What's one of those chocolate bars go for? Like in Atlanta.
So our chocolate bars are $10. They are probably a little bit more elsewhere, but I don't know what the markup prices are.
What's the size? How many ounces?
So each bar is like 2.5 ounces. Okay. But we do have other products like hazelnut spread and
delicious.
And we have baker's bars, so like chef bars, so they're 8 ounces of single origin chocolate. We have single origin chocolate, so like chocolate will taste different from region to region, much like coffee.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's very similar to coffee in a way. I mean, you're taking a seed or a bean out of a pod of a fruit and roasting the seed.
It's super similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except they're bigger. They're like
All right. It's not a competition. Jesus. It's not the size of the bean. It's how good it tastes, Steve. Wait, that's not correct. That's not. No. So anyway, chocolate.
Chocolate. And we have other products here.
Okay. Sorry.
We've been venturing into truffles. So
cool.
We have a retail spot that was the original factory at Krog Street Market in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so we used to have just 2 grinders back there and then an oven. And then about a year and a half ago, we moved into a factory over on the west side of Atlanta. And we will have 4 grinders. One broke recently, but we're getting it fixed. So it'll be 4 grinders and then like a double-decker
Is one of them
oven.
Italian?
No.
You always need to make sure you have at least one Italian grinder in stock at every time. Mortadella, salami.
Oh my God. Speaking of meat, we're vegan, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good.
It's all vegan chocolate. So
yeah,
no dairy.
I actually prefer dairy-free. I usually have coconut milk. I don't like nut milk as much, or nut juice, whatever you want to call it. I have almond milk in my coffee right now, but I prefer coconut.
Very nice. We have hot drinking chocolate at ASM.
Your chocolate is dairy-free?
Correct. Chocolate is inherently dark chocolate.
I know.
When we roast it and grind it stuff. Yeah. Okay.
And
you're saying it like you're chocolate, surprised.
But I know it. It's the idea of not milk in chocolate. I don't know why this is hard concept for me, but
for me, the idea of having dairy or milk in your chocolate is kind of weird. We're taking the titty milk of a cow,
and
putting it in chocolate.
Yes.
That's kind of weird, isn't it? Like the fact that we drink another mammal's milk.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, yes, but so like, I want to say big chocolate. The bigger chocolate companies.
It's like Big Pharma, just in treats.
Yeah.
Milton Hershey is a Nazi.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
They use maybe like 10 to 15% of actual chocolate, and they actually burn the crap they burn the crap out of all of their beans, so they're all homogeneous flavored. And then I think the requirement is to use at least 10 to 15% of actual chocolate in your confection, and then the rest is just fillers and crap. So
I was reading something.
We don't need that.
Extra.
I was reading something not so long ago about the health benefits of chocolate, but that's assuming that you're eating like a high cacao.
Yes.
Not necessarily eating a chocolate bar, but just if you're consuming chocolate in general, but like high cacao, not like a Hershey bar, which is barely got any cacao in it.
As she just pointed out.
Right.
Yeah. No, we're all on board. That was Steve's way of agreeing with you by adding the exact same information you just said. Yes.
Yes. It's okay.
I said that I was reading something about the health benefits of it.
Yes.
Because they were saying that there's like, there's a lot of stuff in the chocolate that's good for you.
Yeah, there is.
So
yeah. Isn't it like an antioxidant or some shit?
Yeah. It's also antimicrobial. So
what does that mean?
It has a long shelf life. Our expiration date puts it like at a year. But you can have it beyond a year. It's fine.
Oh, that's cool. Wow. All right.
Like pemmican.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me neither.
It's an animal product.
Oh.
The Native Americans used to make pemmican. It's like dried meat.
Oh, okay.
It's like a jerky, but it's mixed with other stuff. They basically take fat from the animal and the meat, and they dry it out and mix it together into like a jerky kind of.
Oh, that's cool.
But it lasts for like months or years.
Yeah. Well,
so it's a survival
in general
food.
Does. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like jerky in general lasts for months.
And then the colonial people came over and stole the idea.
Of course they did.
Like, this is ours now.
Yeah, and then white racist people make jerky in their backyard, and they're like, "Oh, it's good American food." So anyway,
yeah,
I like how his jokes everybody giggles at, and my jokes silent a room. Nick, true, far too truthful. Oh, okay. So anyway, So you said they're really patient with you, and they seem to be rather supportive of the fact that you are one of the TISM. How else are they neuro-affirming, if you will?
I don't know.
Okay. No, fair. That's fair. That's fair. Absolutely fair. Are there other people you work with who are also neurodivergent?
Yes.
Okay. So they don't shy away from that either. Okay. Because one thing that I've noticed from things that I've read from people's experience with workplaces, they'll talk about how a person was affirming or accommodating to them, but when it came to other people, not so much, or vice versa. And so, like, to me, if what do I do now?
Nothing.
Okay, great. So, to me, like, if one human being who's neurodivergent is treated well, but another one is not, I would say that workplace is not the best in the world. But you're saying there's
Correct.
multiple of you, and they're willing to make accommodation differently for each of you, and that's pretty awesome. Because that's really ideally what you would want, right? Is a place that's
Right.
understanding of the individual opposed to the, okay, how do we accommodate autism?
I have a couple questions for you, Emily.
Go for it.
First question. What is something that you wish that more people knew about what it's like in your experience being on the spectrum or being neurodivergent? Whether that's neurotypical people or just other people on the spectrum, like what's one thing that you wish more people thought about, or something that you wish people understood better?
I guess I wish that more people were more patient. I've found that a lot of people get upset when I'm taking too long to do a thing. And, I just kind of ignore it now. Like, I know that it's happening, but I can't like react to it because I'm someplace where I can't react to it, kind of thing. So, I just think the world is getting a little bit more patient, or I'm just ignoring more bullshit. So I don't know which one is happening.
Both. It's both.
Probably both. Yeah.
The other question I had was, so you've spoken, or you've talked mostly with Nick via email and stuff like that. I've read a lot of your comments leave on us, but you sent us some information about yourself before you came on the show. And in your bio, you mentioned that you weren't sure what flavor of gay you are.
Yeah. So like, this is my coming out year. And I told the people closest to me.
Wait, coming out year, as in like this is the first year you're telling anybody you're something other than the hetero?
Yes.
Holy shit. Congratulations to you.
Do you not want me
Thank
to
you.
talk about this? Because we don't have to.
Oh no, it's my coming out year.
Yeah,
Fuck it, let's do
if
it.
she fucking put in an email to us, she full well knew we were going
No,
to
it's
talk
just
about
like
it.
I just like obviously like I don't really care about what your sexuality is one way or the other. I just thought it was funny the way you phrased it when you said what flavor of gay. So I'm like, what does that mean?
So
I'm Fanta.
So
like,
Emily, hold on to that question real quick. Hold on to that
Okay.
hold on to his question real quick, because I do want you to answer it, because let's not disrespect Steve, although I'm going to do it regularly. But I got a question for you, because you said coming out year. Somebody once proposed to me, and this is like 10 years or so before I started talking about being bisexual. Somebody proposed this idea. I was watching something, and they said it's not coming out, it's letting others in. So we are not coming out, we are letting others in. And so it's your coming in year. It's allowing others in to see who
that sounds
you are.
dirty, though.
You know what? Forget the connotation of it, all right, motherfucker?
It's Nick's coming in rear. I mean, coming in year.
Yeah. So the thing about it to me is like the reason why it meant so much to me when I heard it that way was because people had always talked about coming out as in this big reveal and shit, but we're not revealing anything about ourselves. It's not like we shouldn't be the ones who hesitate to say it. They should be the ones having a moment of pause about coming into our world, because that's really what's happening. We know what we are. We know what we like and what we don't like. It's letting other people into our world. So we're giving them the privilege of knowing who we are. And I like that so much. How do you feel about that?
Well, I've told people closest to me first. My partner, of course, completely supportive.
Okay.
and now it's for everybody else to know.
Right. And obviously we just literally were putting this on the internet. So it's now for everybody forever.
Forever.
So flavor.
Flavor.
Tapioca, chocolate.
Definitely a bit of chocolate.
Elderberry.
Could you identify the fruit you are?
Well, cacao. Anyway.
Well, that just means millions of people around the world enjoy you. All right.
So it's more like I know that I'm queer. I know that I'm not straight.
What does that mean for you? Because that has slightly different variations for different people.
So I think that I just, like you were talking about respect an episode or two ago, and I actually agree with your partner more. Like, I respect everyone off the bat, and then they show their true colors, and then it's like, well, I don't have to respect you anymore because you don't respect me. So I think when I say flavor of gay, I mean like it's my coming in year. So I'm still kind of like
figuring it out,
exploring that. Yeah. So
I kind of figured that's what you meant, but I was just being an asshole because I was like, it's just the way you phrase it. I've never heard someone say flavor of gay. That's why I was just like, it caught me off guard because I've never heard that before. So I was just teasing.
Like
I was just teasing.
No, that's fine. It's like when the young people say vibe.
I know.
So
it's like, that's why I said maybe it's a generational thing, and I thought you were younger. So I was like, what flavor am I? It's like a zebra stripe gum,
No, like I can understand the euphemism for it because like growing up I found both attractive, right? But I never really bothered to define it. And so like at some point I just kind of was like, yeah, okay, now I know the box in which I fit into. I'm going to use this label, right? But when I was younger, it was just like, whatever, people can fuck who they want. And that's how I'd always explain it, right? Because that's kind of the way I see sexuality in general, is like it's nobody else's business what or who we want to touch. But that's what it comes down to, right? It's whatever turns you on. Doesn't matter what the hell it is.
Something,
so the flavor thing I get for that.
There's something about, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the way that like, if a lot of this has to do like how much of sexuality is, because when I was younger, it was always like this is what they told us in high school. In middle school, they were like, people are born gay. People are born gay. But now it seems like we've moved away from the whole idea that people are born gay. There's no like gay gene that we found or anything like that.
No.
But now it seems like it's either nurture or a mixture of both nature and nurture for why people are what they are. But it's weird because like I don't know, like if I was raised differently, would I also be attracted to men or would I be gay? I don't know. Or
have less resistance to the idea. So there's
like because there's this weird mental thing for me when it comes to like men, like just the idea of it. Like there's something. It's not like I'm like oh that's fucking gross. It's just like it's just not appealing to me. But I also was raised.
Your flavor.
It's not his flavor.
I was raised in a way that like very heterosexual, like, especially the way my dad was when I was a kid. He was very like,
well, your dad is a very macho dude.
He's also
like very stereotypical macho kind of dude.
He has an aversion to homosexuality, but I kind of get it in a way. Like he's kind of grossed out by gay men specifically.
Well, he was also raised in a different generation.
But he was molested by a guy, and I think
that would also create an aversion like a motherfucker.
So I think that's why, because he's told me about it before. He said that's the why he is kind of weirded out by gay people, is because he was, sexually abused by a man.
That it does kind of make sense because it would create an aversion to something, wouldn't it? I will say that there is a lot of sexuality research that actually dictates that none of us like that idea of sexuality where we name it and we identify only certain groups of people. That is straight up choice because your physical body reacts, period. Like the body and even the mind emotionally, like parts of the brain still light up the same way, regardless of what sex act you're looking at. Like it just reacts. So like to me, even when I say I'm bi, it's just an easy way to explain to motherfuckers that I'm willing to fuck either gender, right? Either identified genders, right? It's a quick way to say it, opposed to just being like, really, it's about the attraction I have to somebody. And if we're both willing to get it on and all that, like, fuck all that. No, I'm bi, right? It's just the easy way to do it. And in your case, it's like, I'm queer, right? Like, that's the easy way to say it. But really, the human being creates an emotional attachment and a physical arousal to somebody, and it doesn't actually matter which one.
What's weird about some of this stuff is because people think it's so black and white. And we had this conversation last night. We don't need to get into it, but like I was trying to explain to somebody what the difference was between like the concept of bi versus the concept of somebody who's pan. And I was trying to explain it because like for people who consider themselves pan, like gender isn't a factor, right?
Right.
And it sounds almost like with you, that's kind of maybe you're more pan than bi because the way you've described it is more like you just don't, it seems like you don't really care what their sex or what their gender is.
No.
But also when it comes to people who are straight, there's also a lot of like, I don't know about women, but as far as straight men, there's a lot of straight men who are fine being with like a trans woman or a woman because they're attracted to femininity, even if that person has a penis or was born as
because it's
was born biologically male, but they, you know, if they're like a lady boy or if they're trans or whatever it is.
I mean, if the person matches the prototype in that human being's
I say lady
head.
boy separately because lady boy is a different thing. It's like a Asian. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
It's culturally.
Yeah, that's a cultural thing.
It's a cultural different thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's
that. No, that's what they call themselves. That's what they consider it. Like that's what the term is they use over there.
Yeah, that's in like Taiwan, right?
No. Thailand.
Just said Taiwan. Isn't Taiwan?
No, Taiwan is an island off the coast of China.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Thailand is south.
I don't know shit. You know this shit better than I do.
It's a lot of like Southeastern Asian countries.
Yes. Okay.
There's a culture of it's because it's different than it is in the West.
Yes.
Because like being trans here was kind of a like taboo thing.
Right.
But it's always been a thing over there. Like they don't care.
Right.
Like there's boys who decide that they want to start being women or dressing like women, but they don't conceptualize it the same way that we do.
Yes.
Like as far as it being trans to them, they just call themselves lady boys. That's what they call themselves.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but like
I just wanted to clarify so you didn't think I was trying to be offensive. That's what they call themselves.
I will say our Western conception, straight up, I'm not even going to be respectful to fucking everywhere. The U.S. has a fucked up way of identifying other cultural shit.
Yeah.
And like we have tendency to super judge other people's culture and like, no, you have to use our words. Fuck off. They've been doing this shit a lot longer than we have.
India, I don't remember what it's called there, but like there's a third gender they have in India where like there's either somebody who's born intersex or whatever, but they have a different term for it. I don't remember what that term is, but that's kind of like over there. That's what they use. Yeah. They use the term ladyboy.
In fact, a bunch of like the things that we would say are new, the rest of the world, it's not new to them. It's been there for a long time, and they figured out how to incorporate these people. I mean, yes, there's some ignorant motherfuckers who still treat these people like shit.
If anybody listening thinks I'm being ignorant and wants to correct me on ladyboys, go ahead. But I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that.
You know,
if I'm wrong, fine, tell me. But I'm pretty sure.
I gave a fucking warning at the beginning of the show, didn't I? We may say some shit that's ignorant because we're learning too. Like we're human beings on this fabulous journey called trying to figure out life. We might be fucking wrong on some of our concepts of things too.
I can see why people
we're white males.
I can see how people in America might be offended by that. Like if if you don't know about ladyboys and you heard that term, it might sound offensive because I can see why. But that's what people over there call it. That's what they call it.
It's actually the name in which they use for themselves. Yeah. So Steve is actually paying them more respect than the people who are trying to say, no, don't say it.
Right. That's why I differentiated between a trans woman and a ladyboy.
Yes, that is why you did that.
Because they don't consider themselves trans; they consider themselves ladyboys.
Yes. So now that we have figured out cultural differences in terminology,
I just went on a rant about ladyboys for 10 minutes.
Hey, that's cool, man. Hey.
But my whole point is that there's lots of straight men who are fine having sex with somebody, but they're more attracted to those feminine qualities, regardless of what's downstairs. That's what I'm saying.
Because like I was trying to say, the prototype that we carry about certain things, right? All of us have a prototype for everything individually, kind of like our archetype of what is that thing. And even whether the person is trans or even identifying of male, if they're effeminate enough and match that prototype enough, the hetero male will still find them attractive.
Yeah, I just think everything that when it comes to sexuality and stuff, I think most of it is, I think people overthink it.
Me too.
If you want to have sex with somebody, just have sex with them. Who gives a shit?
Right. Like,
yes, I agree.
Right. Like if the two of you have a bottle of wine and you both get frisky, fucking rock and roll. You know what I mean? It doesn't change who you are the next morning. I mean, you might feel a little bit of shame, but we've all had walks of shame. Come on. We've all had bad fucking nights, all right?
I grew up in a kind of country, like rural town.
That's true.
And in my high school, we had a GSA/diversity coalition.
Oh, yeah.
And I was the only straight person in the GSA. The reason I joined was because a friend of mine at the time, I used to use the word gay casually back then.
Well,
but
it was
back
the
then,
90s. Come on, it was the 90s.
I wasn't making fun of gay people, but we just said, oh, it's gay. Like, but we're not like, you know, people weren't trying to offend gay people. It was just, we used the term like loosely. Kind of like growing up in Massachusetts.
She remembers. Yeah. She just went, oh, yeah, we did.
Growing up in Massachusetts, people would say that's wicked retarded. Say stuff like that all the time. Yeah. Which people would think is offensive, but like we didn't mean anything by it. Yeah. It was just, but anyway, the point is she was like, oh, you shouldn't say that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, that's could be offensive, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Long story short, she brought me to the GSA and I stayed throughout all of high school. I was in the Diversity Coalition, Gay Straight Alliance. Yeah. And I was their token straight. So,
yeah. And weren't you like nominated
I was
president?
Like that.
They did try to nominate me for president, which I thought was weird because I'm like, why do you want a straight guy to be president of the GSA? They're like, well, you do a lot. Well, because they said, well, you do more work than the rest of us. They're like, it was mostly because they didn't put in as much effort. I was putting in more work doing like stuff like making flyers, putting things up. And they were like, yeah, you put in all the work. I'm like, isn't that kind of weird? But okay. If you want to nominate me.
But by the way, I love
it is the Gay Straight Alliance. So.
Yeah, but I like how he sets up that story because he always says the story the same way, relatively speaking, right? And he always sets it up like, "Oh, I was dragged to this thing and I was brought into it."
Well, because I wouldn't I wouldn't probably have just joined on my own. It was somebody brought me in.
I get it. I just like the flow of the story because you always end up like saying, "Well, they nominated me president," and people were like, "That's fucking weird," and you're like, "Well, I did more than everybody," and everybody goes, "Yeah, now we get it." Like, I just love the flow of that story. Every time
it wasn't like I was trying to be there. Just like,
understand.
Like, hey, Steve, you put in a bunch of effort. Why don't you take over? Like, okay. Yeah. Like, what do I know about being gay? I don't fucking know.
And yet, you know, my entire life, people just automatically assumed, oh, you're the hetero. And I'm like, well, I've got kids.
I was just trying to get people to be nice, okay? Because I had people, there were obviously, I grew up in a white town. There weren't a lot of minorities. There weren't a lot of gay people. And the ones we did have, obviously, used to get bullied a lot. So I tried to stand up for those people. Like, even though I used to say things that were insensitive, like use the word gay casually and stuff, but I didn't treat those people poorly. And I started standing up for them more once I joined.
Did either one of you ever have a gay friend who used to call shit gay? In that same vein of it? Like,
I have gay friends who use the F word all the time, even though that's no one's supposed to use that.
Yeah, but we actually have a mutual friend in particular who will use that word to describe
themselves,
the derogatory type of gay man he's describing. But like, I feel
like people like that have license to use words like that.
I agree. So I've got a best friend who's Jamaican American. He uses the N-word and tries to convince me to use it on a regular basis around him, which that's my reaction too, by the way, Emily. My reaction is immediately, nope, no, not going to say it. And he's like, but it's just the two of us in the car. It's okay. And I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like, he's tried so often to get me to do it. But anyway, we actually had a conversation one day. Now, he sounds very white, and that sounds fucked up to say, but it plays to this story. So he sounds very white.
I understand what you mean.
Thank you. And we were at a Denny's one night, and we were chatting, and we were watching on my phone Eddie Griffin, who's a stand-up comic. Okay. Now, in one of Eddie Griffin's specials, he's talking about how he's never met a white person, that everybody's a person of color because we're actually pink, not white. Because white is not a color, right? He was like, it's all colors. So we're pink. He was like, I've met a lot of pink people. So we paused the video and we're talking, and Ian is using the N-word in his comments about stand-ups and saying the N-word and comedy and all that. And this gentleman turns around, older African-American guy, turns around, points at me very angrily and says, you young motherfuckers, you're not allowed to use that word. People used to beat me saying that. And Ian goes, sir, that was me. And he goes, what? Brother, you got to learn to talk. and like, the fuck?
That's
right?
Code switching, I think, is a thing.
Is that what's that called? That's what it's called?
I think my partner was talking about it. Okay. It's like, talking white is like talking properly. It's not a thing.
It's not a real thing,
Right.
but it's just this
It's not a
gentleman
real thing.
heard the way my buddy was talking and assumed it was me, right?
Yeah.
I
I don't think it's like a proper way to speak.
No.
I've been, stop mumbling, Emily, or all right, say it correctly. And it's like, well, now I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. I've always told I babble too much.
Really? Never heard that.
Even though weirdly enough, it's a fucking autistic thing to goddamn do. But no, like I still got some hurt fucking feelings from childhood because of that. I was always told to shut up. I'm babbling too fucking much. And yet I still didn't.
I was always called a ditz.
Well, oh, you were called. See, women are called the dits, and dudes are called fucking morons.
No, creeps. Well, if you're
there's
autistic
that
anyway.
too. Yeah.
I think the connotation, like the stereotype is like if you're an autistic guy, because a lot of times, the social interaction stuff or lack of eye contact or too much eye contact, you're creepy. And like girls who are autistic, the stereotype is that they're quirky,
flighty, ditzy, all that kind of jazz. And no, really,
just putting a stupid label on, like,
that's right.
Whatever.
They just all mean stupid to the person using the word. They don't want to say stupid because stupid is bad, but what they mean is stupid.
Yeah, exactly. That's that. Yeah. Well, how come you don't know it like I know it? Because I was
fucking
raised in your house, asshole.
Why is he creepy? I don't know. He just is.
God. Oh, God. Why are you going to call somebody fucking creepy if you don't even know why you think they're fucking creepy?
I like when people call somebody creepy and they haven't even done anything or said anything.
Oh, they're just sitting there.
Or it's just like a perspective.
Yes.
I had an Uber driver once. He was kind of strange. I don't drive. He was kind of strange to begin with, but I was going home and he was really like, I guess the feeling I was getting from him was really weird. And so like, just all of a sudden out of the blue, it was just a quiet ride. He starts asking me personal questions.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, I'll just change the location to my partner's place of work instead of you bringing me home. And so I just like, as soon as he pulls up to the place, I just run basically and slam the door. And then the driver got out and was like, you don't have to slam my door, and was like really angry about it. And then he left. And I'm just like, looking back, he could have been autistic and just didn't know, but you're also picking up a person, a woman late at night.
That might make more sense for you to feel that way, but I was speaking more about like if somebody's just like, if you're in a social setting, let's say you're at a restaurant, it's a guy just sitting there minding his own business and somebody's like, he's a creep, or it's stuff more situations like that where you're going out of your way to call somebody a creep who's not even doing anything.
But hold on, I would like to say in both scenarios though, it's people imposing different expectations and or other things onto somebody that might not actually be there. Now, I'm not saying your situation per se, because I wasn't fucking there, because maybe the guy was asking you a bunch of real personal shit that nobody should ask. Like, I don't know if he was asking you what color your vibrator was. I have no idea, right? I don't know the fucking questions, right? And by no means am I asking that question. But in that regard,
what
right?
Flavor?
Because what flavor? There you go. But I do understand that in context of, right, you are a woman at night, ride share, all of those factors, but that's on your side of things. Maybe maybe he was thinking, well, maybe I might want to get, talk to this person and be a little bit friendly there because I don't want to get a 2-star rating, right? Maybe to them the questions were not personal because they weren't thinking of the context.
Right.
Same regard of being at a restaurant, right? Maybe that person is sitting by themselves alone because they were married for 35 years and she recently died, but he's still going to that restaurant because that's what they used to do on a Wednesday night. But now everybody thinks that fucker's creepy, but really he's just being sentimental.
Why can't somebody just go to a restaurant? I've eaten at restaurants by myself. So why is that creepy?
Well, it's creepy when I do.
Or go to a movie theater by yourself.
And I'm like, so it's creepy.
I definitely take myself on dates sometimes.
See, as you should, as we all should, by the way.
If you're an average looking or unattractive guy, you can't do things alone or you're creepy. Especially go to a park.
That's a guarantee. Yes.
Don't go to the park by yourself. Everyone's gonna think you're a child molester.
Well, I mean, Steve,
bring a dog.
Steve, you don't just go to the park though. You actually sit on the edge of the playground. That's why people think you're creepy.
And I bring my camera.
That's true. That's true.
But
he's just checking the new lens.
Right.
You ever seen those stories where like a guy brings his kids to the park, he's a single dad or something, and then somebody calls the cops on him because they think he's a fucking perv?
Yeah.
He's just there with his kids. It's like,
Well,
leave the guy alone. You just break fucking his kids.
How dare you do fatherhood?
Or like,
how dare you do the minimum of fatherhood?
He's
right
pushing
there,
his daughter on the swing or something like that, and they'll like think he's some like. Clearly, it's just fucking like, oh my god!
Right.
People just a lot of times. I understand people trying to be protective of other people, but most of the time, people should just mind their own fucking business unless there's like some clear sign that something's wrong. Just fucking mind your business. Stop being a Karen. There was one I read about of this black gentleman, single dad, and I think his daughter was mixed race or white or something. And same thing, somebody called the cops on him because they assumed it wasn't his daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking mind your business.
Well, because people would rather live by their fear than give benefit of the doubt.
That and we assume
straight
that
up.
We assume if somebody's taking their kids to the park, it has to be the mom.
It has to be. And also, when a mom yells in the direction of their kid at a playground, nobody really bats an eye. The second a father does it, on the other hand, now everybody's like, oh, what's he getting loud about? I took my kids to a park, and my son was about to run into somebody, basically get kicked in the face because he was going to run in front of somebody on a swing, right? And so I yelled his name, and I was like, stop! But because I'm a male voice being loud, this mom next to me said, you don't need to yell at your child. And I said, my kid was about to get kicked in the face. Like, I would rather get their attention and have them stop where they are opposed to running in front because I'm trying to be sensitive or some shit. Like, fuck. But that's the thing. If a guy yells...
Our dad always used to take us to the park because my sister would climb on everything and give my mother a heart attack. So he started bringing us to the park instead.
Oh, if you disagree with us, you can state your opinion. Obviously, we're coming from the position of two guys. I don't necessarily agree with Nick about like people getting upset if it's a male voice, but I'm just saying like, you know, if you don't agree with us.
I agree with Nick. I think
Thank you.
People get more upset with angry
because men
voices.
sound more aggressive even if they're not trying to be more aggressive.
Yep. I got to tell you straight up, like, I guess I can say it now because I don't work there anymore. But at my previous job, I was told often by my supervisor, Nick, you have to be aware of the tone you use with women because you're a male. And I said, what tone am I using? This is my voice. Well, Nick, you have to word things in a nicer way. Okay. Can you give me an example of what wording a nicer way would be? I'm explaining how the person didn't do the documentation correctly, and I told them how they can correct it. How else would you like me to word that? Well, you have to be sensitive to their feelings. They are women. And I went, okay. Because I still don't know what that means. Like, if I'm going to correct you on something that you've done not correct, I'm going to tell you that you didn't do it correctly, and here's how I'd like you to change that. Whether you're male or female, that information is the exact fucking same.
I have another thing about my bosses. They're very direct with me, which I love.
We get
like Elaine.
Yes.
Elaine is just like to the point, blunt. This is what needs to happen, and I was like, great, awesome. There's no flowery language. Right. There's no implications. There's no.
Our people are not fucking good with that shit. I'm going to straight up just say it that way. We are not fucking good with it. Just tell me what I fucked up and tell me how you want it different, and I'm going to go fucking do it. Like, don't try to pat me on the ass and let me know I'm a good boy in the process. I don't need to know that. Sorry.
Or give me some vague thing. Well, you know what you need to do.
Yeah. Oh, God. Fuck.
Do I?
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Oh, my fucking God.
You know, just do it the right way.
I don't learn through osmosis.
Yeah.
You can't just like touch me and I know what you're talking about. You actually have to like explain shit to me.
You're not Rogue from X-Men?
No.
You don't automatically absorb the information.
If we did, I feel like this world would be either completely gone or way better.
So
maybe.
I have another question for you because I want to take advantage of the time that you're here.
Opposed to taking advantage of the time she's not? Yeah, go ahead.
You got me all day. I'm not doing anything
we
else
talk
today,
to each other all the time. We're talking to somebody else.
Yes, we are.
So whenever we have somebody who is a woman or identifies as a woman on the show, I like to ask them about the female experience because there's certain things that may be different or unique from your perspective that maybe we don't experience. So, like, do you think there's anything unique about besides obviously some of the misdiagnosis stuff? But
I think a lot of people wouldn't believe me because I do like to maintain eye contact and like study people's faces. I do have to look away because people get
really intense.
intense. And then because I'm attractive, I feel like people think that I'm flirting with them, even though I'm just talking with them.
Look at that
So
subtle
that's
brag
annoying.
right there.
I think that's women. I think that's women in general. I think that's just men.
Sorry.
I'm assuming you're talking more about like men, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think men are just dumb. And but I say men are dumb, like I think a lot of men don't understand the difference between a girl just being nice versus a girl being flirtatious. Because
Yes.
I will say, because I'm the asshole who got that shit confused in my teenage years. I will say though, unfortunately, because men get fucking desperate at times to have any bit of attention, as well as because sometimes that is a subtle used way of expressing flirtation or interest by some women, it gets really fucked up and confused. And by the way, I'm not saying you threw any sign whatsoever you might have been, you know what I mean? It's just from the other side.
it is
of
sometimes
that,
hard to tell the
it
difference.
can be on both of it.
Because
that's why I stopped.
I am very flirty, but that's how I was trained to talk to people.
Right.
A lot of women will
right.
like very subtle in the way they flirt. And like if a girl wants a guy's attention, she might not necessarily go up and say like, "Hey, I think you're cute" or whatever, or be overtly flirtatious. They might be like, maybe they keep looking at you. Or they do subtle things sometimes. So I think as a guy, you're like, is she just being nice or is she flirting with me? I don't fucking know.
Well, that's because that's how we're trained to flirt with one another. Men are taught to be over and women are taught to play hard to get. Yeah. Like that's how we're fucking socialized.
More subtle.
Unfortunately, that means the dude has to continually try to overtop the last dude in being overtly interested, and the woman has to do the exact opposite of that. And neither one of those are conducive for either one of us to know if we're interested or not, right? Like,
I mean, I basically had to hit Alex over the head, being like, "I'm flirting with you. Let's go out."
Yeah, I'm horrible.
Is he autistic? No,
I'm horrible at recognizing
he's
girls that flirting with me.
Right, like. I will say that
a girl could be like basically trying to sit on my lap and grind on me, like I'm not sure if she's interested.
Okay, so I've actually seen women blatantly hitting on this man. This is years ago for his partner who may or may not be listening to this. Years ago, I've seen women hit on him and he had no fucking clue, and the rest of us had to tell him.
Yeah, they like basically almost grabbing my ball sack, and I'm like, I don't know.
Straight up, she was given every sign in the fucking world. You know who I'm talking about. Given every sign of the fucking world, and a couple of us actually had to say, dude, she is interested in you. You don't have to do shit. You don't have to impress her right now. You don't have to do nothing. Like, she already likes you. Just fucking roll with it. And he's all like, I don't know. She's just being nice. No. But I will say, like, in my own...
I try to err on the side of caution.
He does.
I don't want to assume anything.
Yeah. In my own life, I actually got to a
nice
point...
of you.
I actually got to a point where I, too, stopped assuming, and I just blatantly said shit. Are you interested? No? Okay, cool. Like, I just outright had to do it because I got tired of that feeling of, like, I don't know. So I just gave up on it. I was just like, look... I dig you. I find you attractive. Do you find me attractive? Yes or no? Granted, that in itself becomes a big turnoff to a lot of people. But anybody who was like, yeah, you're attractive. Let's talk to each other. Cool. Let's take about 10 minutes, figure out if we want to go further. If not, great. We walk away. If so, cool. I got real practical about that shit.
Yeah. You kind of have to sometimes.
Yeah.
I think I can come across as flirty sometimes, but I don't mean to. Like, I get jokey and silly with people sometimes.
That's true.
But it doesn't mean I'm hitting on you if I'm being silly. But like I tease everybody.
And according to Steve Harvey, the number one thing 100 women reported of wanting in a man is to be funny.
Yeah.
If I like you, I'll probably make fun of you because that's. But I make fun of everybody that I like, even if I'm just friends with them. Like that's one of the. Like, if I don't make fun of you, then it means I'm probably not super into you. But, like, if we're good friends, like, I make fun of Nick all the time because we're good friends.
That's true.
Make fun of his fiance because I'm good friends with her, too.
That's true.
Make fun of my girlfriend.
He is far worse when he makes fun of her than anybody else. It's kind of the gauge of how much Steve cares about somebody. The meaner he is, the more he gives a shit.
I hope she's okay with that.
She seems to be
She
so
likes
far.
it. She actually, when we
Okay.
first started dating, she used to ask me to roast her all the time.
Yes,
all right.
yes, because
Cool.
If it actually hurt her feelings, I wouldn't do it. But.
yeah, we do improv and roast comedy on the side, and that is one of the things that she's always said she really liked about him was because he's so damn good at roasting people.
She likes being
Nice.
teased. So
Yeah.
whatever, if you like me making fun of you. She thinks it's funny.
Okay.
It's fucking
Cool.
hilarious. It's fucking hilarious.
Some people are sensitive; they can't handle it.
Well,
So if
'cause
you don't
he'll-
like being teased, I'm not going to make fun of you. But
He'll say some
Yeah.
mean shit in public, and the rest of us don't necessarily bat an eye at it, but you see the look other people have when they hear Steve say some shit to
That's
her.
great.
But like
I've
she
had
doesn't.
friends like that.
Yeah, but she doesn't make any reaction to it. Like, she doesn't pull away from her or anything. But other people would just be like, you let him talk to you like that? And she's like, yeah, why? It's Steve.
people
relationship
get
is
white
different.
90.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
God.
need to defend her honor.
Oh, my God. Can I tell the story about the last play we did?
Well, you can if you want. I was
Okay.
getting frustrated. I was having a moment.
Oh, go ahead.
No, in the play.
Oh,
I get upset. I was getting frustrated
Okay, you
because
tell the story.
people were pulling me in a bunch of different directions. We did a play and we were at a brewery. And once the play was done, we were all getting a beer.
Mm-hmm.
And the bartender who was working the few nights that we went, she spent a lot of time talking to people and like goofing around and not serving people. So it took me a while. I was waiting there for probably like 10 minutes
Mm-hmm.
and she hadn't served me yet. So then a bunch of people start coming up behind me and saying, oh, what are we doing? We leaving, we staying, and everybody's drinking. And they already have their drinks and I'm waiting for a beer. And then Lauren came over and she's like, oh, are you getting a beer? I think we're going to go. And I was getting frustrated because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing? What's going on? So the bartender finally came over and she's like, oh, you're not getting a beer, are you? And I'm like, I got irritated and I backed up my chair and I got up to leave. But apparently she was standing right behind my chair. So I bumped into her with my chair when I got up. And this guy who was there reacted like I was abusing her or something. I'm like, I'm just.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
He got all defensive. I
On
backed
her
up.
behalf?
Yeah, for her. She was not upset because she understood what was going on. So
I didn't obviously hit her with my chair on purpose. I didn't know she was
Right.
standing right on top of my chair.
yeah. And
I
it
was
wasn't like
facing
he
the
knocked her
bar
over or shit.
and I pushed it up. She just happened to be leaning on the chair and I
Right.
didn't know she was that close to it.
And it didn't
But
actually
he acted like I
hit
did it
her.
on purpose. Like
Yeah.
I was whacking her with my chair. I'm like,
So, short version of all of that, Steve got overwhelmed by a whole lot of shit. And it really was like I was sitting next to him. He was already annoyed when we all got there because he'd been waiting for so fucking long to get a goddamn beer, right?
Right.
And then we all sat around him, stood around him, and we're all talking. Everybody's talking about how we're going to leave. Oh yeah, we're almost done with our beer and shit. Which obviously that's going to grate on you if that's what you fucking want, right? You want to decompress from the fucking show. And then he just stands up, chair pushes back a little bit. Her hand is on it. It didn't really hit her, but she took a step back because the chair's coming at her, right? Well, this
Right.
motherfucker decides to white knight the shit out of it and kind of perceive Steve and say little comments, little passive-aggressive things about him. So me and Steve...
apparently I'm
That's some
abusive.
small dick energy.
Yeah, pretty much. Because he wants to white knight the shit out of it. Like, hey, if
Right.
Lauren's got a problem with what Steve does, let Lauren fucking say something. Oh, I used her fucking name. His
That's fine.
partner. She doesn't give a shit, actually. But like, let her
I'm
do
super
it.
abusive, by the way.
And
Yep.
like, I actually think it's super sexist of dudes to come to the defense of a woman because she's a woman.
Also, a woman that you don't know either.
Well, they knew each other kind of. They did a play together. That doesn't mean you fucking know her. But anyway, I believe very strongly that like
See,
whether it's
Lauren, blink twice if you're okay.
yeah, so like this is also the kind of guy who would not come to the defense of another man in the same situation. To me, that's super sexist shit. You're basically saying she is not capable of handling herself. Fuck that. How about you sit back, watch the situation, give her the opportunity.
Well, there
to
are other
defend
things.
herself.
There are other things that he's done to lead me to believe that he has some kind of sexist
Oh
beliefs.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
true.
I wouldn't assume that a woman needs help. It depends on the situation. Like, but I also not just because they're a woman. Like,
Right.
I obviously didn't hit her, and I've never been physically abusive to anybody.
No.
Have I accidentally hurt people? Yes, but not like Like if you accidentally hit somebody with a chair, well, I didn't know you were standing there. Like I've never actually like swung at somebody.
Context is important to a lot of this. But this guy, like, yes, I get it. He's old school, traditional, if you want to call it, whatever the fuck you want to say. But like, don't jump to defend. Don't jump to defend just because of gender. If you're going to jump to defend in that situation, it shouldn't matter who the fucking human being that you're defending is. But also, you've got to make sure the human being actually wants you to defend them. Let them defend themselves first.
Or
if
the
clearly they
situations
can't, then step in to support.
where you have these dudes who like a girl will be like punching a guy or hitting a guy, and then he'll try to like push her away to get him away to diffuse the situation, and then all of a sudden all the guys jump to her defense like, oh, you pushed a girl. Like, dude,
the fuck, man. Context, y'all. Equality is when you'll defend no matter who it is. Yeah. Or what I do, I just watch.
Don't get me wrong.
Having a beer.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, there is typically a strength disparity between men and women.
Sure.
Men tend to be stronger on average, and I understand why people tend to be a little more defensive about women. But at the same time, I think that, like I said before, as far as the Karen thing I mentioned, as far as calling people in the park, just mind your business.
It's just different muscle attachments in your upper body. Men are just built stronger.
Well, yes. I mean, like, that's biologically, absolutely.
Well, that's why we're more like worried about women getting hurt, because
but it's also 4,000 years of social conditioned response to believe women are made of porcelain. Like,
women are as fragile as people act, but at the same time, like, most men could probably
bleed every month and have children. We're definitely tougher than men.
Well, yes, actually, your body is biologically designed to withstand pain greater than mine is. My body is actually sensitive to pain because I need to know when I get minor cut on a battlefield. Like, that's one of the biological reasons why you're supposed to give birth. So your nerves, you actually feel pain less than I do. I'm supposed to feel pain at a higher level.
Women have thicker organ tissue.
Yes. They can withstand damage far better than men can.
Like, women's hearts and their organs are thicker than men's because of childbirth.
Right.
So your organs go under a lot of stress during the childbirth process. So like men, we actually have thinner tissue in our hearts, and our organs are thinner.
Right.
Weaker.
Biologically, we should die first. And we do.
You guys have stronger organs. But I was talking about just physical strength. But as far as like, because, the average man would win in a fight between the average woman. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean one's better than the other. It's it's just the
we're not judging, better or worse.
So some of those sexist ideas I'm saying they come from like there's some practical reason why they exist.
Sure. But it's somebody misinterpreting the information to dictate better or worse.
But people need to mind their own business.
They do need to mind their own fucking business sometimes. You know what? If somebody says the words help, go help. Otherwise, sit the fuck down and just fucking ignore it. It's what I do regularly. I ignore other people. Yeah. No, I don't. Anyway, we were asking you about the unique perspective of female autism.
This episode is brought to you by NOW, the National Organization for Women.
We started all of this by asking you about your unique experience of being a female and autistic in the world, and yet then we go on this fucking rant about like fucking white knighting and why fucking men shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I don't remember what you said.
I don't know either. I don't remember.
No, you said about being a woman that actually no, I don't remember.
Nope. He tried.
It was coming to me.
So hold on. Let me refine it, because he asked you that question and then he said something about like being hit on or whatever or like whatnot.
She said that people confuse her being nice.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Flirtatious.
So my question is, being autistic, okay, and when people hit on you, okay, now, like the female part kind of ties into this too, but I think my question's more based about being autistic. When men hit on you, was it harder to tell?
It's not now.
No. I don't mean now. I mean like 10 years ago when you were in your 20s or whatnot.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I drank a lot more back then, so I was like kind of like a barfly.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so
who wasn't in their 20s though? Who wasn't?
I think some men are
Right.
probably more
I
obvious than
mean-
others too. Like if there's
Well,
like
yeah.
dudes who are like borderline rapey, like up in
Wow,
like super,
dude.
yeah, like creepy. Like I understand. Like I've never been a very like grabby, very
No.
aggressive guy when it comes
No.
to flirting. I'm very subtle. Like if I'm interested in a girl, I'll like tease her and
Shit, I gave up
joke
flirting
around.
when I was 22. I gave up flirting.
I'm
You
not-
you can ask my partner. I did not hit on her once. Actually, you can ask my last 3 partners. I did not hit on
I
them.
think that the guys who are super aggressive is just cringy to me. Like the
Well,
guys who are super.
It depends on how you mean aggressive, because like I'm pretty blatant and upfront. Like I don't hit on people per se. I don't flirt. I would just walk up to somebody and say, "I find you attractive. I would like to get to know." Like I said before, which
I'm
is
talking
not
about
exactly
guys
hitting
who
on somebody.
are making like inappropriate comments, like saying something that's it's not even necessarily bad. Like if you want to give a woman a compliment, even if maybe a woman would be okay with you saying she has nice boobs, which I think is an inappropriate thing to say, but maybe she was fine with you saying, "Hey, I think you have nice breasts." That's a really weird thing to say to somebody. Maybe she's okay with it, maybe not. But if a guy, even it's also the way they say it.
Yes.
If they come up and
Yes.
they're making comments about your body, you're just certain things that I
Like
just find-
immediately.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's cringy. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing, dude? What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Like if y'all are having a conversation about going to the gym, then that's probably a time to fucking point out, "Hey, great job going to the gym and working out." But
I still wouldn't even say that. It's weird too.
Yeah.
I would say that like I guess within like the last year or so, I've been reflecting on those years
Okay.
of like I don't know if you guys know young people or interact with young people on a regular basis in
The
some
kids.
way, like at work or whatever. The kids, whatever.
Hello,
But,
fellow
like-
children.
Yes. Yes, we actually work with a couple of people who are in their early 20s with our improv
Right.
group.
But like looking back when I was early 20 something, going to bars and, having fun and stuff, it was like the older people that were giving me attention and like the older people were like just messing around and stuff. And it was fine. I guess it was all consensual. But looking back now, being almost 40 and like looking at young people, it's like none of me wants to mess with them. Like none
Right.
of me wants to have fun or
Yeah.
whatever. So it makes me question whether or not I knew the full picture of what, like, were they taking advantage of me because I didn't know anything or that kind of thing. So I don't.
I think
It
it depends on the
also-
person.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I-
Some of
Yeah.
them might be, but also some people might have a little bit of arrested development. Maybe
Yeah.
they're
I was gonna
maybe
I was
they're
gonna point that out.
32, but mentally they're only 24.
Right. I was going to
Yeah.
point that out, that they might have been trying to connect with you because emotionally they're still at that age. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and so that's not necessarily they were being creepy or trying to take advantage, but I would, okay, with the way I view the world, the vast majority were just being creepy, fucking taking advantage assholes. Like the vast majority, I would say.
We also
But that's
just
only because I'm
make-
super cynical about the
we
world.
make a lot of assumptions about people,
We do.
and we don't know their full situation.
Right. We don't know all of it. I will say, like, I've done some of that myself in thinking of when I was in my 20s, not necessarily people taking advantage of me, but was I doing that? Like, how was I acting with other people? And there were probably times where I was being a super creepy dick. I
Right.
almost guarantee. Like, I was a fucking white male in 2001. No shit. I was
I have
probably an
something
asshole.
very controversial to mention. All right, how do you guys feel about age gaps when it comes to dating?
Okay, so I was raised under a certain premise, and to this day, I believe my mother was completely right in teaching me and my brother this. 2 years. 2 to 3 year gap. Because here's her premise behind this. If there's too much difference of an age, one person is too immature than the other and will create issues. And then vice versa, why would you want somebody who is that much more immature than you are? They haven't lived as much. So she always said roughly about 2 to 3 years difference in age, no more. And in all of my life, that has been a true statement. Anytime I tried to date somebody who was more or less than that than me, there was always issues, compatibility, relatively speaking. So I agree. How do you feel?
I would say that it really depends on the individual. Like
Sure.
I've had friends that date people completely like a decade to 2 decades older, and I don't think it ever works out. So, oh yeah. Straight out of high school,
Holy shit.
this person met a person whose actual son was only 2 years younger than her. Oh yeah, it was really weird. They're not together anymore. I
No
wish them
shit.
the best.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that was really weird.
The reason I brought this up was there was something I was reading not too long ago, and they were talking about age differences. And I think the situation was there was like a guy who was like 18 and he was dating a 16-year-old. And I think people were making a bigger deal out of it than it really was.
I
think like
agree with that.
Like if the parents, first of all, like in most states, the age of consent is like 15, 16, or whatever.
16. The federal age is 16.
So it may not be illegal, but like socially, a lot of people have a problem with certain people who are minors dating certain people. But I think
it also depends on which gender is 16 and which
I
gender
don't think
is
there's
not.
a big difference emotionally and developmentally between like an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old. So that's why I'm saying maybe that's controversial, but like I don't think it's a big deal if a 16-year-old girl is dating an 18-year-old guy. Like I don't think it's.
I mean, if someone's 20 and 22, there's no problem, or 27, 29, there's some problem.
Like especially if the parents know, if
that.
the parents don't care, and the girl is technically of age.
The federal age of consent is 16. That's what I said before.
Who the fuck am I to say that their relationship's inappropriate? Why is it my business? If the parents know and don't care, like 100 years ago, 16-year-olds were considered adults. Like for
16-year-olds were having kids and married and shit.
Yeah. So whatever. Like I think people make a big deal out of some of that stuff where it's not as big of a deal as it should be.
Well, they want to,
especially if it's not any of your fucking business.
Yeah. Well, they want to make a big deal out of it, and quite honestly, like I always find it amazing that people are like, 18, you're an adult now. You shouldn't want somebody who's 17, even though they're only 17 by 6 months. Like they make a big deal about that because somehow at the age of 18, all of a sudden you've matured every bit you're going to, and now you can make great decisions. No, you fucking can't.
You know, your brain
we all know 25 is when your brain stops fucking maturing. Like, I don't know why 18 was the fucking age we decided on. But
you don't stop maturing. It stops
developing.
What is it? Growing new. Yeah, developing.
Yeah. Your brain physically stops developing at 25. Or 25 to 27, somewhere around there. Anyway,
isn't it different for men and women? Like there's a different, like men's brains stop later or something.
Yeah, that's why I said 25 to 27. Because I think the age range for women, I could be horribly fucking off on time. I think it's 23 to 25 for women, 25 to 27, or 24 to 26 for men. It's somewhere around there, but like middle 20s is roughly where everybody's brain stops developing physically.
I just think that it's weird that people try to make it seem like it's this huge taboo, a creepy thing, when it's never been in the past. I think, like,
well, I mean, how long you live has changed.
People
too.
16 to 18 have dated forever, and all of a sudden it's a creepy thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just don't tell the internet, and I guess you'll be fine.
Yeah, like, essentially. That's
when I was in high school, all girls who were 16, 17 all had boyfriends who were 18, 19. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, why is it a big deal now?
Well, I will say this. That shit has not stopped. That shit still happens all the time, and it's always going to fucking happen like that. But a couple people get caught, and you see it in the news. But that shit always happens. In fact, what? Go ahead.
Well, I just don't count high school relationships as part of my resume of relationships.
I agree with you.
Totally different.
The only time that I will ever use it as an example is because I know these two people who got together, I think it was sophomore year of high school, and they are still together to this day. And that was 20 some odd years ago. The only example I'll fucking use, and it's the only time I count them. Otherwise, when people are like, I dated one guy all through high school. Yeah, fucking great. Whatever. As an adult, how well did you do?
I'm going to get canceled now. They're going to say that I'm okay with people sleeping with underage girls.
But you didn't exactly say that.
No, I didn't. But that's how people perceive it.
Yeah, well.
You can also edit that out so people who didn't originally think that don't also now think
like, oh, he thinks it's okay to sleep with 16-year-old girls. Like, that's what I said. Yes.
Because that's not what he said. See, I'm going to actually make sure fuckers get the right perception. He did not say it's cool to sleep with underage girls. He did not say that.
I'm saying if you're 18 And a 16-year-old, I don't think is a big deal.
And he said
I
have
do
a
like
relationship.
Yeah. I do like how there's a lot of, I guess, TikToks or whatever of adult women saying, hey, he doesn't think you're mature. He's just taking advantage of you because you're young. Don't.
Right, and that's all it is just taking advantage of. There's no other way to look at that. But yes, there is.
Yeah.
There's a ton of different ways
I think
to
it
look at
depends
everything.
on a bunch of factors.
Oh,
One,
yeah,
like how big
absolutely.
the age difference is, and two,
Yep.
there are a lot
How
of
you
like
meet them.
what?
How you meet them.
Yes, that
Yeah,
how and where.
and also
Yeah,
the
like-
maturity difference.
Yeah.
There could be.
Is that you?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I thought my phone was on silent.
Like if you go to if you were a 50-year-old man, you go to a T Swift concert and you're front fucking row hitting on the girl. Yeah, that's not the right place to be, dude. You should not be there. If
What's
you
wrong with
did
being a 50-year-old man who loves Taylor Swift?
You can be, but don't go front row and hit on the girl next to you.
You don't have
That's
to hit on the
probably
girls.
not the
You
place.
can go and like dance.
No, you
and-
can rock out your shit. I'm cool with that. It's the total context of what I'm saying. Like, especially if you're there for the purpose of meeting women, that's probably not the place for you.
No. Wait a minute.
Well,
yeah, I've
unless
known
there's
dudes
also-
in my early 20s that were like hitting on high school girls, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yep.
Gross.
Yep. Yet none of us are Matthew McConaughey. We should not be doing that.
Gross.
Dazed and Confused reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Like,
And you said I love high school girls because they stay the same age. Or
yes,
something?
he keeps getting older, but they stay the same age. Like, really wrong fucking shit. But like in the context of that movie, he's also not the dude to fucking look at as the person to emulate. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, his character is supposed to be a douchebag.
but they
Yeah.
even mention that in the fucking movie. Like, the part that I don't get is when people look at some of these characters and they're like, he was so cool. You missed the point. Like,
It's
literally,
like Bender and Rick from Rick and Morty, all
Uh-huh.
these incels that like the character. I'm like, no, that's the example of not how to be.
right. Like, what the
That's
fuck?
the joke.
They missed the moments in the movie where, or
If you
in
like
the
Tyler
show.
Durden, you missed
Right,
the
like-
point of Fight Club.
You missed the fucking
Yes.
point. Like, god damn.
Tyler's
Sorry.
kind of the bad guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's How I Met Your Mother. Barney.
Yeah.
Like, you missed the fucking point of the character if your ass goes, bro code, awesome. You missed the fucking point.
Someone bought me the Bro Code, the book.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember who, and I was
Yeah.
like, by the
Oh, yeah, they
they-
actually wrote a book. Like,
It has all the rules about,
it's
like,
novelty
bro
shit
rules.
for the show.
But
It's
like
novelty
the
stuff.
funny thing,
Oh,
I was
gotcha.
never into that show.
Oh, see, I was super into
So
that show.
why did somebody think that was a good gift for me? Because I wasn't into the show and I didn't really particularly like the character Barney. They're like, okay, thanks.
I think the character of Barney is hilarious because of the ridiculousness of the shit he says, right? Because it's a blown out of proportion version of the reality of that kind of guy, right?
Right.
I was a big fan of Jason Segel's character because I always kind of looked at myself as being that kind of goofy dude who's just like, who has this odd relationship with a partner. I kind of always like connected with him in that way. Granted, he's still, you know, a blown out of proportion version of that kind of guy too. But
He
like,
wrote a Muppet movie.
what?
He wrote the newer Muppet
Yes.
movie.
I love that fucking
That was
movie.
awesome.
I
Yeah, I
love
love
that.
that movie. I
So-
love the Muppet.
So and I don't remember the name of the song, but the song he does with his Muppet brother, Muppet and Me or something like that. Am I a Man or a Muppet? I love
Yeah.
that fucking tune. Like, the first time I heard it, I went, oh my God, I've always felt like a Muppet. And like, fucking, I still listen to that song with like touching feelings. And that should not be a song I have some emotional reaction to, but I fucking do.
Yeah.
All right.
That's okay.
I'm a fucking large kid. What can I say?
Ditto.
And according to Steve, I like kids too. So whatever. Oh, that's
I
a
like
joke
kids
for
shows.
everyone. Anyway.
I like kids shows.
Yeah, me too. I still watch kids
You
shows.
li- I
I mean,
like
granted, I have 4
Gravity
children, so-
Falls.
What?
That's fair. I love Gravity Falls.
No, I
And,
watched that. Yeah, I watched it.
DuckTales, the new
Uh-huh.
one from like 2017. That was really good.
Oh,
I've never
Okay.
seen it. I used to watch the one in the 90s.
yeah. Yeah, me too.
Oh, it's way better. It makes references to the ones in the 90s, but it's really good.
So I've got.
It also had David Tennant, so it's good.
Oh,
They
there
have
you go.
what was the
Yeah, he was Mick Scrooge.
who was
That's
the
cool.
character in DuckTales? They had like I don't know.
Huh?
I can't remember his name. There was one of the characters he hung out with with Huey, Louie, and Dewey?
Oh, Launchpad.
Yeah, Launchpad. Is he in the new one?
The pilot?
Yeah. He's the pilot.
Pilot character?
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
he's also in Darkwing, and
Yeah.
I think he was in, what is it, Tailspin?
Yes. He was a
They
combination.
make references to all those
Yeah.
other shows in the DuckTale. Yeah.
Wasn't there a Robo-Duck?
Yeah, Gizmo Duck.
Gizmo Duck, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, man. It was a
Yeah,
long
I
time
can't
ago.
remember any of that shit.
I only watched DuckTales when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. Which is why I don't
It's
remember.
a really good show. It's definitely made by people who are our age, who grew up in the 90s too.
Yes.
It's really good. They
That-
have this
that's
one
the-
episode where they have they break the fourth wall, basically, and they're on a sitcom, and like
Oh,
the
there you go.
audience, the humans are the monsters. It's really well done.
It's
Nice.
the greatest, the 90s DuckTales theme song is the greatest theme song ever made.
Really?
Yeah,
Probably.
I love
Oh.
that song. Life is
Mhm.
like a hurricane
Oh my good God.
in Duckburg.
Oh my fucking God.
It's the greatest.
Wow. Like I love Freckle Rock theme song, but
I also
fuck, I'm not gonna
I
sing it
I had
here.
the movie, the DuckTales movie in the 90s.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, very
Where they
nice.
would like explored that like haunted pyramid or something
Yeah.
or ruins, and there was a genie.
Mhm.
That was
Right.
a great movie.
I still have that on my computer. I've got a
Yeah,
lot of
those are-
fucking movies. I
Yeah.
collect movies like some people collect trains. No, seriously, I have DVDs still that are still wrapped in their packaging that I will probably never watch. I never had any interest in watching the fucking movie, but I bought it because it was $5 and it was a DVD to own. Yeah, I still have movies that I've never watched on DVD.
Just give you guys an update. It's been an hour and 36 minutes.
Okay, so what that means is we need to wrap up. We don't have somebody off
Okay.
camera going like this. So that's Steve's way of saying,
Now we can continue if you want. I'm just letting you know we're at the hour 36.
I
mark.
don't have anything else to do today, and I like talking. So
Is there something
"Hey, Steve, look,
Is
it's
there
somebody
something
similar to me.
in
Because
particular
me
that you
too.
would like to
I
talk
like to
about?
just talk. What the fuck?
well, the other thing I emailed you guys about was like sexual assault and
Uh-oh.
That
the
is true,
seriousness
trauma.
of
As we're
Yeah.
talking about
Trauma.
like hitting on people and all the guys being creepy and
Well, I just didn't know. Like, I wasn't aware of how.
Wait, when you say you want to talk
ugly.
about SA, like what specifically do you want to talk about? Like, is there like your own personal experience, if you've had any, or like or just like in general, or
Do you want to put out a PSA all about how no, you should not get SA'd? Like, that was a weird way to say that. But the fuck?
I don't know. I just part of my whole being is that I'm a birth mother. So I had a
What does
go
that
ahead.
mean?
oh,
Yeah,
so
I don't know what that means.
when I usually say birth mom, people usually think surrogate, which is not the same thing. All surrogates are birth moms. Not all birth moms are surrogates. So basically what birth mom means is that I gave birth to a baby
Okay.
and then went through the process of adoption. So
Oh.
it can either be an open adoption or closed adoption, but I went through an open one. I found parents and at 3 months along.
I don't know what the difference
and-
is between open and closed adoption.
Open means mom can have contact. Closed means mom can't
Oh,
have
okay.
contact.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Obviously,
you should have explained
I'm
that. Why
ignorant.
the fuck did I do
I
it?
mean,
You
because he
should have
doesn't
fucking
because he
done it.
doesn't know when to shut
Fine.
up.
I don't know when to shut up. I really don't. I don't have any idea.
It's okay.
I think I've explained in previous episodes when I cover my mouth with my fingers, it's because I'm stopping myself from talking.
I think a lot of my family would wish that I didn't talk about it, but I like to talk about it because I feel like
It's your
more
way
I
of
talk
staying
about it,
connected.
yeah, it's my
Yeah.
way of staying connected, but also I think it can help other people if they hear
Yes.
a person like me talk about it.
Yes.
Like, postpartum was a real bitch to get over, especially with where I was living and who I was hanging out with. And
Neither of which were conducive to being kosher with postpartum, apparently.
yeah,
All right. Did you
I'm
catch
glad
that
I
hint,
left
Steve?
St. Louis. Atlanta was definitely a lot better to kind of recover and recuperate in.
So is that one of the motivators to moving to somewhere else? Was because you were in a non-conducive environment?
Yes.
Okay. Were you with your current partner at that time?
No,
Did
I
you
met
meet-
him here.
Yeah, that's where my next question was going to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Uh,
Please.
no.
I got
Wait,
the
so
look.
where
I got
does
the look.
I don't want to make any assumptions or anything here. So where does the SA part come in?
Oh,
Oh,
so
you're
I was
wondering where the
raped.
connectivity was.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I was raped.
Oh, well, that's why I didn't
How
want to
that
assume
happened.
that. So that's why I was asking.
Oh, got it.
I didn't want to
No,
assume that that's where you were going with the story. So sorry.
Yeah. Being a barfly wasn't conducive to my health.
I connected all the dots with that one.
Yeah, I tried to,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to make the assumption because
No.
she didn't specifically say.
And it is valid to
Right.
not have made that assumption. I unfortunately have heard this story many a time. So I
Something-
connected the dots.
And
I don't think a lot of people want to hear from birth moms, so that's why I want
I
to
don't
keep
see-
talking about it.
I don't see why.
No, I think it's completely valid to do so.
Pro-life, pro-choice. I'm pretty sure my parents would love me to be a poster child for pro-life, but I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's I mean, I don't know the full extent of your personal situation, but I think that what you did was fine. It's a good choice to make. Why not?
If you were not in a place in which you could take care of another human life and you made the option to allow someone else who was in a better position to do so, bravo. Good for you. You thought you took somebody else's life into greater consideration than your own fucking feelings. Good for you.
Yeah, I don't know any other definition of motherhood than that.
I was kind of
exactly. That's kind of what I was going for. Is that makes you a real parent because you put somebody else's well-being above your own. And
Yes.
absolutely. And you obviously made a good choice. You said it's open, correct?
Yes, it's not open anymore, but
Okay.
I mean, I had 13 years of contact, so
Great.
that was good.
What was human being well taken care of?
Yes.
Then bravo. Then you made the right choice in the end. And you should tell other people about how to make that right choice and if the choice is right for them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm wonderfully supportive of Emily and her choice.
I didn't say anything.
No, I like
I was thinking about something and I was trying not to ruin the moment.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I was thinking about what she was saying
You
about.
know how to do that?
She was talking about the barfly thing, and there were a lot of bad situations I got myself into in my 20s. Although I imagine, like, being a woman, it's probably a lot worse. I would assume, obviously. But like, I was drugged once at a bar. Somebody spiked my drink.
This is, and I'm not trying to diminish what you're saying at all, but
What?
you literally just said, I have a black friend story. You're relating to her by saying, "Hey, me too."
Oh, I'm sorry. So
No,
I can
tell
never
the story. Tell the story.
So
please.
men aren't allowed to be drugged or taken advantage of or raped or sexually assaulted. Because
excuse me,
women have it
men
worse,
can't-
so therefore it never doesn't matter if it happens to a guy because women have it worse. So there you
Hey,
go.
just
I won't talk about it.
I just literally said,
I was
"Please
never
do."
drugged. I just got too drunk and
Steve, I just said,
didn't
please tell the
understand that
story.
blackout drunk was not the usual type of drunkenness that people would get.
Yeah.
So I just thought everyone was getting blackout drunk, and
Right.
that's
Yeah, I got myself in a few situations where it was actually I don't know who drugged me, but there were a couple other times where I got into situations where women tried to take advantage of me. But the the drug thing was if I would assume it was a guy, I don't know, because I was at a gay bar, but
And it still could have been a woman.
there
at that
were a
point.
lot of women who went there too.
Yeah.
But I just
I'm sorry that happened to you.
sorry, I didn't know what happened because I actually had one beer and I started to feel sleepy and I drove home because I only lived like 10 minutes from the bar. I got home and I passed out for like 3 or 4 hours and I woke up and I was like, the fuck happened? So it was weird. So I can't say 100% I was drugged, but I was pretty sure because I wouldn't pass out from one beer.
Oh,
So-
no, he wouldn't.
Right.
No, he wouldn't.
I fell asleep. Yeah, I
They're
passed
just
out
like,
for like 3 or 4 hours and I woke up and I was like, I had a headache and I'm like, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure I
shit.
got drugged.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's a good thing I guess maybe I shouldn't have driven home, but I didn't know I was drugged.
Right. You
So-
would have had no idea how strong that was going to hit you.
Anyway, but if I had stayed longer, I would have probably passed out at the bar.
Yes. Yes. And then somebody would have said, "Brah, I'll take care of him."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to do that to me at a party once when I was younger, and my friend actually stayed at the party the whole night to protect me because I got too messed up, and this guy was trying to take care of me.
Yeah. So I was always the one to kind of watch out for other people because I've always been overly paranoid of somebody doing that. I think it's because I watched way too many after school specials about that shit. And so I was always the one who was super paranoid of my friend being taken advantage of. So I was the
you were
one.
the mother hen.
Yeah, so I was the one watching drinks, and I was the one making sure, like, oh, nobody's following you to the bathroom. Okay, we're good. Like, I've always been that person to do it. Always been that kind of hyper vigilant.
I wanted to share my experience with it, but at the same time, like, I'm sure women get their drinks drugged way more often than dudes do. But I have had my drink drugged.
You still have a valid experience, and people do need to hear that.
But nothing happened. Like, I went home and I passed out, but I could have.
But there are people who honestly believe that never happened. So it is actually good to be able to voice that.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible shit could have happened to you, man.
A lot of guys just don't understand it. I remember a post once that was like a girl was at a bar and she had to go to the bathroom. And so she was trying to take her drink with her. And then, she just was kind of indecisive. And the guy next to her is like, no one's going to drink your beer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I never thought about that as a guy. Like, I didn't protect my drink. I would just leave my beer at the bar and go to the bathroom and take a piss. And I didn't think this. Like, it never occurred to me that someone would drug me because I'm a guy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but I know women do that. But I never thought to do that as a guy because I'm like, who's gonna drug me? Like, who cares? Like, apparently people will drug dudes. I was a pretty man in my 20s. I was a pretty man.
Yeah, I've never been pretty enough for anybody to want to drug me, apparently.
I'm old and no one wants me anymore.
I've always covered my drink. Anytime I saw a woman, whether I know them or not, and they're covering their drink, I'll watch their drink from afar to make sure nobody fucking touches it. Like, always, because, like, again, probably because I watch too many after school specials and shit. To me, that is horrible that a human being, A, has to be that paranoid and that protective, and 2, that somebody would be that fucking despicable to fuck with somebody's unaware drink.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. And the example you just gave of your friend not knowing whether to bring it into the bathroom with them, social convention, if you're walking out of the potty room with a fucking drink in your hand, everybody's like, ew. But at the same time, you don't want to leave it fucking unattended. You can't even trust the bartender with that shit. You can't even trust.
You can't at Grindhouse.
What?
Well, I don't know if I can say that name.
Oh.
That's where my partner works.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, say the name if, I don't know.
No one's going to go there.
Yeah.
I just, I don't think
it's like the most popular restaurant in Decatur.
I haven't told many people that I got drugged, and because I don't really think about it very often as well. But like, I sometimes forget. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened to me.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's valid.
Yeah,
it's valid.
I don't know what they put in it. I have no idea. All I know is I passed out for like 3 or 4 hours. I woke up. It was like 1 a.m. I'm like, the fuck happened?
Well, I'm glad you got home safe.
Yeah, well, I guess thinking in retrospect, I should have been worried about driving home. But all I know was I had 1 beer, and I'm like, I feel really drunk. I had 1 beer, and I was like, why do I feel so fucked up? I only had 1 beer, and I left. Actually, our friend Justin was working. I was like, hey, I'm going home. I don't feel good. I feel really messed up. I drove home.
Now I know where you're talking about.
Yep. And then as soon as I got home, I fucking just passed out face first in my mattress on the bed. I was like, passed out, woke up. And I was like, I have to assume I got drugged.
Yes.
So,
you would not have that strong a reaction to 1 fucking beer.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was younger, I was always referred to as a 2 beer you.
Well,
I can't finish that statement because it's really derogatory and shit.
A friend of ours.
You knew what phrase I was talking about, right?
I think so.
Okay, so your sexuality, how you identify, say the word. Starts with a Q.
Oh, queer. Okay, got it.
2 beer.
Queer.
Got it. I was always referred to that way because it's a derogatory way of saying a dude can't handle his fucking liquor. And I couldn't when I was younger. I would have 2 fucking beers and I was fucking as hammered as everybody else having like 5 shots.
If I wasn't sure that I was drugged before, there was a mutual friend of ours who had the same thing happen to him. He had like 1 drink and he was like passing out. 20, 30 minutes later, he was like on the floor over in P-Town.
Oh.
And so that's pretty much what happened to me.
Yeah.
And so and he knew he got drugged. So I'm like, oh, well, I've heard stories of it happening to other people. Same thing happened to me. So kind of cleared any doubt in my head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's definitely.
I'm always skeptical. Like, I always doubt, even if something happens and like, I'm pretty sure I got drugged. There's still like a little bit of skepticism in my head. Like, maybe I just didn't eat enough, or maybe I did something, you know.
I mean, that's superhuman to want to rationalize that potential issue away.
Like,
Absolutely.
Well, that's any definition though. Because like to bring it back a little bit, the sexual assault that I went through, I didn't really know that I was raped until like years later when people started redefining what rape was and like the non-consensualness and the, you know, saying no, even if it's not like violent or it's not like bloody or something like.
Right.
Somebody being a little bit too...
what was once referred to as date rape.
Or a little too aggressive, like somebody's a little too persistent.
Yes, persistent.
Yeah.
That would be a really
That's not
nice
romantic. You just leave them alone.
Yes.
I think there's varying degrees there. Like there's different levels, like obviously, because they're all bad, but there's severity. Like obviously somebody being picked up off the street and violently raped is different than like, let's say, it going a bit too far in the context of a relationship or a marriage. Maybe the person doesn't want it. I'm not saying that one is like okay and the other's not. I'm saying, but I think there's severity levels. Like
right, you're walking a very nuanced line.
Yeah,
and I agree with how careful you're attempting to be.
Right,
and in all relativity, you are correct. At the same time, let's make sure we say out loud, all are bad, boys and girls.
I didn't say
bad.
that one is not bad.
He didn't say that. I'm making sure everybody understands very definitively all are fucking bad.
Like we talk all the time about how they're like, we need to be able to have nuance for things.
Right.
Like
we
it's not
need
so
to be able
black
to talk
and white.
about severity.
It doesn't mean that like any of it is good. I'm just saying like there's just like if somebody gets assaulted, there's varying levels of assault.
Yes.
Like physical assault.
Physical assault. Yeah. Battery. Different levels of battery. We get it.
Yeah.
We get what you're saying.
We also have different levels of murder.
Right. How?
We have manslaughter. We have like premeditated murder. There's
homicide,
second degree murder.
Yeah.
Man,
like a second degree burn.
Died.
Yeah, but like manslaughter, usually it's assumed that you didn't do it on purpose or that it was through negligence. Like you did something knowing that you could kill somebody, but not necessarily with the intent.
Okay, I'd just like to point out though, sexual assault. There's no accidental version of that.
No, I really, I didn't say that there was.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did not say that there was. You did not.
I'm trying to think of a theoretical scenario where you could accidentally
like there isn't one. There is not
one.
All
right.
Ever.
Two people are really drunk and they're taking a shower together, but they're not consenting to sex, and then one falls down. And the other person slips and falls on top of them. I don't know.
Okay, so one thing I will say though is like if both people are drunk as fuck, right? In certain states, neither one of them can consent because they're inebriated on something. I will say in my own past, of course, with partners, we've both been hammered to fuck, and we've gotten it. Your current partner, I'm betting money. Y'all have had a couple drinks, and more than a couple.
I've been in scenarios where I barely knew what was going on.
Right. Like the other night when I went home, the reason why y'all didn't hear from me for a while is because I fell asleep in my car in front of your house.
But I've also been in scenarios where I've been with women who have kind of taken a little bit far, and I didn't want to, but I was really intoxicated.
And so you just went with it anyway.
Because I was too like drunk to care to try to fight back, or not fight back, but like to be persistent. If I said no and they kept going and I was just like, all right, whatever, because at that point you have no energy to try to, because you're fucked up and you're drunk. You just kind of just let it happen.
So Steve right there just described how he understands where the position some women are put in and where they gave in.
I was very drunk and I had a
persistent
woman on top of me and I couldn't move, and I'm just like, all right, I guess this is happening. Like,
I mean, I think a lot of women do that too, just because we don't want to be impolite. And I like that a lot of people are coming out and saying, hey, you can actually say no at any time.
At any given in fact, you can say no in the middle of thrust. You can just go, stop it, no. And he needs to pull the fuck out and go home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. He needs to just stop right then and there.
In the situation that I was in, like I did say no, but I don't think she took me seriously.
I mean, why would she? You're a man.
Well, that, and like,
I was kidding.
I can't really control what goes on down there.
I took that as a joke. No worries.
Thank you.
Like I can't really control what goes on down there. So like if she's like trying to,
but this is kind of what I pointed out.
If she's
earlier.
trying to get me hard, and I'm like,
just
because it's if you get a guy hard, that doesn't mean that he necessarily wants to do it. But I don't have any control over that body part. Like if somebody starts rubbing it, it's probably gonna. You know what I mean?
Like I pointed out before, the physical body reacts. Period. The mind isn't always with it, though. And I'd like to mention exactly what you just described is what some men used to rationalize of why she, quote unquote, wanted it, because her body reacted and her mind did not. You were just describing literally the same thing, but for a man. Yeah. Your body reacted even though your mind didn't want it.
If you have somebody, if you're really inebriated and there's somebody on top of you,
Yeah, your body just goes.
Like, no, I mean like as far as like there's somebody, if they weigh 150 pounds or whatever on top of you, like what am I supposed to? I was like, all right. Like at some point I'm just like, I'll just lay here and just let her do her thing. And
you're just going to give in.
Because I didn't have the energy to try to like get up, or plus I felt like it was weird. There's also a thing like as a guy where
the social imperative of it.
Yeah, it's like if you turn down a woman, like I've been accused of being gay. They're like, which who cares if they call you gay? But they're like, what are you, gay? You don't want it? Ugh. It's like because you're expected to always want to have sex.
It's the social imperative. It's the social conditioning on men that we're always supposed to just want it. But there are times when we don't.
So I can't say no because otherwise, what are you, gay?
But think about it. So
yes, I'm gay.
Because
I don't want to have sex right this second. It makes me homosexual.
Yeah. You weren't just physically fighting somebody. You were also emotionally and intellectually fighting off a bunch of shit at the same time. The same thing in a given situation where a woman might be put in that situation.
Yeah. I'm just describing it from the male side. Like obviously for a woman, it's different, but I'm just saying for my side, that's like.
I mean, that story sounded pretty similar to times I've heard female friends describe that same situation. That sounded pretty goddamn similar.
Well, except for the part where like as a guy.
I was very close to my early 20s.
You're expected to just want it. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
I also,
man, like every bit of your story. I mean, we could literally take out the male words in that, and it's the same fucking story as a lot of people.
At a bar once in my 20s, and I was like passing out, like blackout drunk, and some girl came out and started making out with me while I was passed out against the wall. That was weird. Yeah,
that's real strange.
Yeah. I was like, excuse me?
I'm glad I'm not as pretty as you.
I was
Jesus, I've never had that moment. I'm really happy that shit didn't happen to me. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to make jokes about this, Steve, because it is important that you're able to talk about this.
I mean, this is how I process trauma.
I just thought it was weird. I was like, why is this girl doing this? This is weird.
Right.
And I was once again, it was another thing where I was really fucked up. So I was just kind of like, what? Like, what's going on? Right. I also like same thing. Like I'm actually afraid to reject women sometimes because I'm afraid that they'll react negatively. And I know women feel that way too. Like if you reject a guy, you're afraid he's going to get angry or whatever.
Right.
But I'm afraid too. Like if a woman, especially if she's drunk or she's acting a little crazy, if I reject her, not that I'm saying I have to reject women all the time. I'm so attracted, whatever. I'm just saying, but if I had to, like, I'm afraid that they're going to turn around and act like crazy or say that I tried to hit them or say something crazy. Like
I got
because their ego gets hurt, and I'm afraid they're going to do something crazy, you know?
But you got 3 special letters for you that kind of are predominant for you that like kind of indicate why you would have a problem with that too. RSD, rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria. This fine sir right here, like that's one of his predominant. I'm far more PDA than, you know what I mean? But this gentleman has kind of a people-pleasing kind of thing. So he's fighting against that too.
Have you ever seen like those videos? And I know this is not really a great example, but I've seen videos of like online of like people, and for me, women specifically being rejected and acting crazy or acting like the guy was trying to do something to her.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that happens all the time, but that's what I was afraid of is like, I'm going to say no and she's going to say something crazy or say I tried to like grab her or something.
Right.
And then actually it happened.
Rejecting her.
It happened to me once at a job I worked at when I was younger. I was 18 or 19 and this girl used to hit on me all the time. And she tried to trick me into, she had a party once, all right? She invited a bunch of people from work to the party and I showed up and it was like her and one other girl. And nobody was there at the party yet. It was just us. And I'm like, where is everybody? She's like, oh, they'll be here later. And she wanted me to go into her bedroom with her. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like she was trying to get me to lay in bed with her and stuff. And I was like, this is weird. So I was trying to avoid her. And then I started dating this girl and she found out that I had a girlfriend. And then she told the HR at the company I worked for that I was sexually harassing her. She accused me of doing all this shit to her all the time, saying that I was doing all this stuff. And I can only assume it was because I rejected her.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's the type of shit that made me afraid of, because I'd had experiences like that where
Right.
like I didn't even do anything. And she tried to accuse me of stuff because she was mad that I didn't like her.
I've had guy friends kind of do that. Like when I first got here to Atlanta, I was still friends with someone that I was friends with like 20 years ago when I first lived here. And so I was hanging out with him and his housemates, and I had relations with his housemates, and my friend got really upset and stopped talking to his housemate. Then he stopped talking to me, and I was like, cool, I'm not your property. I am your friend. So that friendship died.
Yeah, and it's very true. It's up to you
Very
to decide
strange.
who to fuck, not up to him.
No.
That sounds
really
like
strange.
he probably had some unresolved feelings or unresolved problems. And
God,
he, instead of talking to you about it, he just got bitter. And
right. Like,
He smashed a chair.
what a fucking douche.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
but if
why
he,
don't
if,
you
did he
just
ever,
be
did
happy
he ever,
because your friend had a good time? Like,
did he ever
fuck
express
off.
to you that he liked you? No.
Mm-mm.
No, not.
We dated once, and it was really strange. And so I was like, I just like you as a friend. And that was like 20 years ago.
Oh my God. He held on
yeah.
that long? Holy shit.
I guess so.
God.
Sorry to make it all about me. I was just sharing stories.
No, you weren't making it about you. You were actually relating. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful thing
I
that you
know
were able
that
to open up about
These
that.
are issues that affect women more often, but it doesn't mean that that stuff doesn't happen to guys at all.
Right.
And also, like,
Yeah.
I was more afraid about being accused of stuff that I didn't do, or like, because, you know, I don't want people to have the wrong opinion of me or think I'm some fucking weirdo or.
But it should be part of the conversation, Steve. It might not happen to men as often, but it needs to be part of the conversation that sexual assault and bad moments fucking happen to everybody, and everybody needs to be kind of aware of it. Because
I think if a lot of people were more open about it, we would find that it's probably 50-50.
oh yeah, I agree. It's probably far more often than
Like,
we know.
a lot of guys, I mean, you said you did the same thing too, but a lot of guys play it off like, oh, it was nothing, or,
Yeah.
you know, because we're supposed to be happy if a girl wants to sleep with us.
Well, I
so.
mean, you, quite honestly, Steve, man, you were just playing off a bunch of it too. You used diminishing language when you were just describing things.
Well,
too.
I usually just make jokes about it, and that's my way of just dealing with it.
Well, that's actually, it's
Yeah.
actually, Emily just said the same thing, that, yeah, she uses jokes and stuff and humor to deal with
and
trauma as well.
I
I think it's
mentioned
the
this-
best way to deal with trauma, by the way.
I mentioned this story
Yeah.
here when I was in middle school. There was an older kid who tried to grab me a bunch of times.
Mhm.
So he was kind of an odd kid, and I decided to hang out with him because he seemed fine, and I slept over his
Is that
house.
before
and-
the grabbing?
Before the grabbing, yes. I didn't hang out with him after
Okay.
he was grabbing. No, I slept over his
Okay.
house once, and I woke up in the middle of the night several times with him trying to grab my junk, and that was weird.
So I'm just real happy that I'm enough of an asshole that no one ever wants me in such a
And I found out he did it. I found out that he. I
I'm
found out.
enough of an asshole that everybody's like, we'll leave him alone.
I found out later that he did it to other kids.
Yeah.
And
Gross.
when we went and actually told people what happened, we were shamed for making it up. They said we were lying. So that was the
I had
consensus.
kind of that.
They said, "Oh, well, he would never do that because he was a
Uh-huh.
really nice kid. Like he was very shy, very nice. Nobody would suspect that he would do something like that." And so when we came out and said that he did this stuff to us, they said we were making it up and just trying to make him look bad.
Did he also grow up to be
Yeah.
a priest?
No.
Because that sounds like the makings of a really good priest right
I was
there.
about to say, like, I would
I'll be
hate
not
to
that
know
way.
that person now.
Yeah, I can only imagine at
I
this
saw
point he's
him-
probably committed some rather atrocious things to
I
people.
saw him when he was a little bit older, and I'm pretty sure he was just. I think he just grew up to be a gay man. As far as I know, he's not like molesting kids or anything weird like that. But I mean, because we were both kids, it wasn't like he was.
Right.
I think that he was in the. If I had to guess, I think he was in the closet and he was having trouble coming to terms with his sexuality, but still, just grabbing somebody while they're sleeping is fucking weird.
Horribly inappropriate.
Yeah.
But
So,
I think it's awesome that you're able to give benefit of the
just
doubt.
shit like that's happened to me that like. I did like when it happened at the time, I just kind of played it off like it was nothing because I was like, well, whatever, I'm a dude, who cares, but
I'm really glad that parents now are kind of aware of teaching their children the correct terminology and the correct like anatomy terminology, of your bodily functions and bodily parts.
Yeah.
Instead of calling a vagina a cookie.
What?
Call it a vagina.
What?
Oh, it's that example.
Cookie? Is that why I love cookies so much? All right. No.
There's a post about like, I think it was like a kindergarten teacher or whatever. It's like, I had a student tell me that her uncle touched her cookie or something, and I didn't know what that meant. And then later on find out that person was being molested. So I'm glad that people are changing the conversation and actually teaching children the correct terminology.
Yeah.
Because it's always someone that it's not like a stranger.
And if you use euphemistic language for it, if you use that kind of like difference in words, calling it a hoo-ha or something like that, you're actually taking away the importance. You know what I mean? Like, and we need to make sure that it's there, especially if a kid's going to report something.
Yeah.
They touched
you have to
my
believe
stuff.
the children.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Even adults, you got to believe. We got to take it, not necessarily, especially in adults, we don't have to take it so seriously. We automatically go, "Ooh, you asshole!" But we need to take an importance to it. No matter who's saying something bad happened to them, we need to have some level of importance to it.
Right.
Something just kind of crossed my mind, but it may be inappropriate. But I think something that gets lost.
What stopped you?
Does it have something to do with a panelless van?
No. I think something that gets lost in a lot of these conversations
Uh-huh.
is the why.
What do you mean?
Like, we know that these things shouldn't happen to people, and we know that they're wrong, and we try to process these shitty things that happen to us.
Uh-huh.
But we don't really talk a lot about why they happen or why people do these things. Like
I just automatically say they're evil and move on.
Like I tried to, I'm not saying that it justifies whatever they did, but I think if you don't understand why these things happen, then it's hard to keep them from happening again in the future.
I agree.
And the same thing, like I tried to rationalize why that kid did what he did to me. And I'm pretty sure I understand why. It doesn't mean what he did is okay. But like understanding what drove him to do that, I think he was struggling with his own sexuality. And rather than try to come out it was also the 90s, he probably was uncomfortable with it. He thought in his mind, he somehow rationalized like, hey, if I grab him, maybe he'll be into it or something, but
maybe that was
the wrong way to go about it.
A shot at it or something.
The wrong way to go about it. I mean, kids make lots of mistakes, especially when it comes to adolescence, puberty, going through like when you're growing.
Especially here in the Western world, we're taught at a very early age to shame
it's messy because kids don't know when you're a teenager and no one teaches you the right way to go about things. People make mistakes because you don't fucking know.
Right.
You're a guy and you say something inappropriate or do something inappropriate and you don't even know you're doing something bad because nobody teaches you the right way to do things. Well, or the same thing like
nobody's teaching either one. I mean,
or acceptance.
Nobody teaches that difference is okay. And so like women will make fun of dudes and humiliate a guy when a guy's just trying to reach out and say, hey, you're pretty, right? And then on vice versa of that, nobody's teaching the guy how to appropriately approach a female that they're interested in and saying, I dig you, can we get to know each other? Or if nobody's teaching that either.
If you see something in a movie and like maybe he saw a movie where a guy's grabbing a dude and the guy's into it, maybe he just thinks, oh, that's the way you do it,
Right.
But so I'm not saying that I'm not trying to make it okay for what he did. I'm just saying that I'm trying to understand why he would do that because he doesn't seem like a bad person to me, but it's obviously fucking weird what he did.
I completely agree with you though. We have to figure out a why. And some of the rationales that are given for some of this stuff, I don't completely agree with, and B, I don't think it should be such a broad stroked kind of thing. Some people say, well, it's society that teaches it. Society just needs to teach differently. Yes, and there's more to it than just that. because like when you hear both people's stories, there's more to it than just he's creepy as fuck and he's doing something inappropriate. There's always a level of abuse, abandonment. There's always a level of being humiliated. There's always something more on the other person's side.
Right.
And so
there's no such thing as a one-sided story.
Right. Like, and that's the thing. And yes, they committed or they did something that is wrong, inappropriate, bad, horrible, but we need to understand more of it than just, ooh, they bad.
I think on the
Like,
on the victim
there's gotta
side
be
too,
more.
like she said before, people are like the conversation has moved to a point where we're talking about it being okay to remove consent at different times, or being
Yes.
okay with saying no,
Yes.
setting your boundaries. And I think that's important, especially for women, men too, but
Yeah.
women especially, because
For everybody.
they're more often the victims, to like be able to set boundaries.
That we hear of. Because even as Emily said, if we found out more, we'd probably find out it's much closer
Well,
to the
either
equal.
way, set your boundaries is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, all humans should be. And I'll say this, and I'm prefacing this with not victim blaming at all. All human beings need to be aware of their situation a little bit more. All human beings, okay? Whether you're male or female, walking down that really tiny, thin, dark-ass alley might not be in your best fucking interest. Regardless of who you are, might not be in your best interest. And I'm saying that as kind of an extremist example of it, but we all need to be a little bit more situationally aware, no matter who we are, okay?
Yeah.
Know full well that going alone somewhere with a stranger, male or female, not good juju.
I understand a lot of people don't want to talk about the why,
But
because
we need to.
like if you're
need
hurt
to
by
understand.
something, if you're traumatized by something, then trying, even like conceptually, you trying to wrap your head around trying to understand why, you don't care, because if you were victimized, you don't give a fuck why somebody did it if they did something to you.
Understood.
But I think from the outside perspective,
Right.
if it's important to understand those things. Like I watched this thing years ago. It was a documentary somebody did about all these sex offenders. And have you ever seen how they have those like sex offender camps? Like trailer parks?
Camps?
Yeah, they have trailer parks. They have these
No idea.
parts of the country where if you're a registered sex offender, they make you live in like a segregated trailer
Oh,
park
that's right. Yeah, because
Wait,
they
really?
can't live
close to certain
X
things.
number of
and-
miles
Oh.
to zero. Yeah.
So they have these
Okay.
trailer parks where all these sex offenders live together in a trailer
Uh-huh.
park, but there's all different variety of people there. Like one person, you know, maybe somebody's a serial offender. One person, something happened once for a different reason. It doesn't mean like, it's not justifying any of the things that they've done,
Right.
but like you learn a little bit more about the human beings and like how they got where they were. A lot of those people who have abused children were abused as a child themselves. And that's how they learned the behavior. And they thought it was normal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it happened to me all growing up. I thought that's just how it was.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean what they did is okay.
No, it doesn't at all. But at least there's an not understandable in the sense of like it being okay, but at least we get an understanding of more of how do we prevent it?
Yeah.
Like, how do we understand that human being better in their position the way
And
way
how do
they
we
see
stop
the
them
world?
from offending again?
Yeah.
How do you stop that person who was
Yeah.
offended from
Tell
doing
stories.
Tell stories. Yeah. I also think that telling stories is very good because we need to have that lived experience. We need to understand from both people's perspective. I think also we need to come to an understanding of like all of the things that contribute to it. Cause like, shit.
A lot
I
of people will
forget
just
where or
say,
why
well, you know,
I-
just put a bullet in their head.
Well, because people like their simple fucking explanations, and fuck those people, because fuck simple. Human beings are not simple in any way, shape, or form. And to come up with a simple solution for a complex fucking problem makes you a bunch of words that I probably shouldn't describe somebody as being 43 in the year 2023, but they deserve to be
if I was a
demeaned.
parent
I mean, you're-
and somebody did something to my kid, I'd probably want to put a bullet in their head. But that's why I'm not in charge of
Understood.
the judicial system.
Yes.
That's why we have people
Right.
who are not involved. You know, we have third parties at adjudicating the situation. It's not me, because if I had,
How much money you have.
Yeah.
well, that too. But
Kind of like if somebody is bullied and tortured and treated like shit in high school, and like all the experiences they had with potential partners were really humiliating and horrible, and then that person grows up and does something horrible to somebody like that, well, no shit. Like, and I'm not saying they have
Do they listen to Joe Rogan?
Or well, there's people who are like women who really hate men, or men who really hate women.
Yes.
You know, maybe they've had a bunch of shitty experiences with the opposite sex.
That's what I was kind of saying is like when somebody goes out and does something horrible to somebody and we see in their history, in their past, that they were treated like shit by somebody or
there's a bunch of guys
by somebody who looks like that person.
If you're a woman
that's going to happen.
If you're a woman and every single experience you've had with a man has been horrible, or they abused you or treated you like shit, then it's not really it's easy to understand why they're like, well, men suck. I fucking hate men. Men are evil, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, because every guy you've ever met has treated you like ass or abused you.
Right. Which is why me and Steve understand that all women hate men. We get it. We get it.
I went through a phase where I kind of like, I didn't hate women, but I went through a phase where I didn't want to be involved with women at all. In my mid to late 20s, I spent years where I was trying to avoid any close relationships with women at all because I had a series of really bad experiences with a bunch of women. And I just kind of was like, I just don't want to be involved with any women at all. I just want to be alone.
See, I have a really hard time doing that generalization kind of thing. I have a really hard time. And I'm not saying like I'm better or smarter or more evolved than anybody else. I just have a really hard time doing generalities like against an entire group of people. There's always a piece of me that goes, well, not all of them. You know what I mean? Like, I also don't like the word hate.
I was shutting myself off from
to prevent pain. I get it.
But it wasn't it was the reason why I was shutting off women is because that's what I date. Right. So
no, and I get it, and I understand why.
If I don't allow myself near any women, then it's impossible for me to end up in a relationship with a woman who's going to hurt me because I'm not surrounding myself with any women who could get close to me and like manipulate me or hurt me.
And I get it. I'm just saying from my perspective, like there's not a single group of people on the planet that I can say in a totality of like, fuck that group or fuck that population or fuck that demographic. I've never had those moments.
Yeah, but you're not having relationships with other groups of people necessarily. Like I wouldn't say I'm going to avoid Native Americans because a Native American hurt me. Because it doesn't make sense. Like,
I mean, there are people who actually have bad experiences with a race of people.
It depends at what age you are and your maturity.
But when you're at that point in time, you don't care. It's not about whether, well, I might meet a nice girl. It's just, I just want to shut myself off entirely to protect myself from everyone.
Right. That's why
sometimes you need that though.
Yes,
sometimes
absolutely.
you need to like be single or like just be closed off.
It didn't matter if I met a nice girl at that point in time. I wouldn't have been receptive to it anyway.
Yes. You probably wouldn't have seen her as being nice.
I didn't care. I just I assumed that any woman that.
Sorry, I'm the fucking weirdo who's never had a demographic that I had to cut myself off from.
I had to pretend that any woman was a threat to my mental health.
Right, to protect yourself.
So I wasn't going out of my way to be mean to girls, but I was just trying to avoid them.
Well, that's also where some of the prejudice, bias, racism, sexism comes from too. That's where some of the chauvinism comes from, is somebody got hurt and to defend themselves mentally, they were like, well, I'm fucking better. Or some shit. Like that's where some of that stuff comes from. I was just trying to say that, all right, maybe I'm just being an asshole again. I was trying to say there's no single group of people where I've ever felt like
I don't think that makes you an asshole.
I don't really look at it as a group of people though.
I've always identified people as individuals first and foremost.
I was trying to avoid a specific gender.
Yeah, it was a gender. I'm just saying any demographic, any
when you say group, that makes me think of like an ethnic group or something. Like I was just avoiding women in general.
Well, I mean, I've never avoided men or women, even though I think men are fucking dicks to begin with. Most of them. But I also don't avoid men. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt of letting them show me.
Well, to be fair,
my horrible opinion is true.
I wasn't spending a lot of time with men at that point in time either anyway.
So it was humans who were cutting yourself off.
I was specifically trying to avoid situations where I might end up in a romantic situation with a woman.
Yeah.
So that, like, I wasn't spending a lot of time with guys either, but those would be friendships. I was trying to avoid situations where I might have a romantic interaction with a woman. Like I wouldn't go to that's why I went to gay bars instead of going to regular bars.
I still like going to gay bars more than straight bars anyway. Not just because I'm part of, LGBT community and shit, just because like there's way less pressure.
The funny thing is I get hit on at the gay bars anyway. So
of course you do.
I would go to them. No, by women. I would get hit on by women because straight women go to gay bars, and then I get hit on by straight women.
So they're not hit on, but then they hit on you.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? I came here to like not get hit on, but okay.
And I go to him because there's no pressure for me to hit on anybody, as well as I don't feel like I've got to perform like a fucking dude. I can just be any asshole I want, or like just be me. Like I do.
I have a question for you.
At a gay bar. What up?
Wait,
which one of us is you?
People keep blowing up my phone.
no.
I'm sorry.
Okay. No,
That's
you're
okay.
good.
I want to know what kind of man you find pretty.
Why?
I don't know.
Like my first reaction to that question is, why the fuck do you care what dick I like?
I
didn't think about
I think
dick
he-
or
I
the
think he's an
sexuality.
Idris Elba type.
But
You-
close. By the
See?
way, Emily, no one's ever asked me that question before. Of all the
Oh.
years that
I
I
thought
have
it.
let people in,
I thought it. I just haven't asked it.
I know a
'Cause I
lot
don't-
of people have fucking thought this shit.
Because I
because,
thought it would make him uncomfortable, so I didn't ask him.
like most of my fucking life, people just assumed I was fucking hetero.
He likes
In
to
fact,
talk. I just
Yeah.
assume that people who like to talk
I think
about.
he
what they
likes.
like.
I do. It's just nobody's ever asked me the question, and I have a rule that if you don't ask, I don't tell. I'm like the opposite of the army.
I said Idris Elba. I think he would find Idris Elba attractive.
I do. A very beautiful man, an amazing fucking actor. It's also one of those things that I don't really ponder and think about all that much because, again, I haven't been completely forthright with the world about me being bi for a long time. It's only been a few years now. And part of that kind of came about because when I first moved to Massachusetts, actually right before I moved to Massachusetts, I was coming out here to hang out with my buddy Ian, who's a Jamaican-American gentleman. I mentioned him earlier. I was coming to hang out with him, and we would go to a certain bar that was historically a gay bar, and a bunch of people just automatically assumed I was hetero. And for some god-awful reason, it fucking offended me. Not offended me to the point where I got upset about it, outright upset about it, but it offended me because people made this assumption. And I was like, the fuck you mean? Well, you've got kids. We know you have kids. We know you're a single woman. And like, but it was
A lot
all
of gay
those,
guys have kids.
yeah. It was all that rationale though, that for once in my life made me go, the fuck you mean? And I was like, oh shit. Now I get it. All these friends that I had all these years that were gay and trans and all of this other stuff, all of that community. Now I fucking get what they mean. Oh shit. And now I'm hearing people talk about their hetero relationships and I'm like, oh my God, they are throwing fucking hetero shit in people's fucking faces. Now I get what the fuck they've been talking about. But
that's Common Core.
What?
The Common Core values.
Yeah.
It's very hetero. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. What does Common Core values mean?
Oh,
I will answer your question, but I don't know what the fuck Common Core values means.
Okay, so Common Core is like the formula to follow in your life, especially if you're a hetero middle class white person.
Oh.
I don't know if it's the same for other people, but from what I experienced throughout childhood was you graduate, you go to a good school, you get married, you have kids, and then you die. And every so often you go to church. And so like
the social expectation, pseudo social expectations.
Yes.
I thought it was because of the way he dressed that everyone just assumed he was straight, but
yeah, actually
he was straight presenting.
So I was very hetero presenting. I used to wear Hawaiian shirts with
nice.
cargo pants and sandals. And so, yes, I was very hetero presenting. I was old Jew in Florida presenting. Okay, that's what I was. Okay. I was old, retired in Florida. That's how I looked. That's how I dressed. And I still do dress like that at times, right? I'll still have cargo shorts.
The gay guys at the bar just assumed he was straight the way he was dressed.
I definitely like Hawaiian shirts when I was in middle school.
Wow. All right. Apparently I'm a 12-year-old. But like, yes, that is how I dressed, especially at that time, a bunch of like 6 years ago. And I still kind of dress like that at times too. It's just, it affected me a great deal more when people assumed they knew. And it was the only time, like, I didn't give a shit in my 20s if people assumed one thing or another. I didn't give a fuck. Never even put any thought to it. But it all of a sudden affected me in my mid to late 30s. Way more. And even more so because they questioned Ian's sexuality, who is very super hetero, and he like announces that he's fucking, I'm down for ladies. Like, Not like in the chauvinistic fucking male macho fucking version of that, but like he's hetero. But people question whether he's hetero all the time. And they're like, and actually, we have a mutual friend who actually hung out with us and pointed at me and went, I know you're straight, but what the fuck are you, pointing at him? And I kind of, all right.
The only thing that,
right.
the only way I can relate to that, and this is I find annoying, is because I had a lot of gay friends growing up. People would ask me if I was gay or assume I was gay too.
Dude, I danced ballet as a kid. I got told I was gay constantly.
I'm like, so I can't have a gay friend that means that I'm gay because I have a gay male friend? Like, what the fuck?
Well, because you are who you
You're friends with all the outcasts? What?
Yeah. Like I danced ballet for 6 years as a kid. I got called gay regularly because I danced ballet.
I mean, I was always like, okay, whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me. I just thought it was weird. Why can't a straight man have gay friends? Why does that automatically mean they have to be gay too? Well, that's what bothered me. I'm like,
that's how these fuckers operate.
Like,
and not to other people and shit, but that's how fucking AMTs operate.
I've always had friends that were
goth people. They assume you're goth.
I've always like been acquaintances or friendly with people from all different. Right. Yeah. Like when I was in high school, people had cliques. Right. I was in the Gay Straight Alliance, but I also hung out with all the goths and I hung out with I was kind of involved in all different social circles.
You too?
I hung out with the thespians and the band kids.
You hung out with the lesbians in band camp? What?
Thespians.
Says yes, TH. Okay.
The drama kids
but there was definitely some overlap.
Yeah, there was definitely overlap. They were theater people.
The drama kids didn't like me.
I'm not.
Some of which are involved in groups that we know now.
That's hilarious.
That's interesting.
Other theater
I'm
groups.
so glad I am 2 hours of a drive away from where I grew up.
Yeah,
just so I don't have to run into
I can't imagine. That was part of the reason why I wanted to move out of St. Louis, is because like everyone knew each other, and I'm just like, I'm done being this person that you think you know. I'm gonna go to another city.
So to answer your question, now that I've allowed myself in the conversation to deflect as far as I'm willing to let it go, because I don't want to be rude and not answer your question. But like, so men that I find attractive, Idris Elba is a very sexy fucking dude. But there's a lot about his presentation more so than just his physical body. Like, he got a beautiful body too, don't get me wrong. But like, there's something about his presentation that is just, man, I want to hang out with that dude. Right? Like, I want to go on a date and find out how this dude operates, right?
I don't know why he was the first person that came to mind when I was like, a guy that Nick would like. I was like, that's who I pictured in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
because you know him.
I do a little bit.
So,
but he's never told me what kind of guys he likes. I just assumed that he would like him.
I don't think I've ever answered this question.
Well, because I've
never been asked this before.
I would think that he would like somebody who's like a little rugged, a little traditionally masculine, but like maybe dresses well. And Idris Elba's kind of like a handsome guy, dresses nice. Plus, he's a darker complexion guy, and I would picture that you would like guys with a darker complexion.
Yep, I generally don't dig white people. Yeah,
so that's why I assume that.
True statement.
Yep.
Men or women. Never been the biggest fan of the whites. I have no problem saying it that way too. Like, some people would be like, "Oh, you don't want to sound racist against white people." I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I've always predominantly hung out with people who were not whitey, and majority of my partners have been non-whites.
Yeah, he has a hard time washing his jeans and his white tees at the same time.
That's true.
Separate them.
Yep.
I went on this weird blind date with a friend's friend, and he looked so similar to my brother that it was so strange. He's like, "We can get over it," and I was like, "No. I cannot get over it. No, please."
Yeah, if somebody looked like my sister, I wouldn't be. That would be weird. I couldn't do that.
Yep.
No.
If anybody looked like my brother, I don't think I'd be able to have a conversation with him. I love my brother, but no, like Steve, you actually got 90% of that correct. What was that?
There goes all the French Canadians.
Yeah,
Can't take them.
That's right. No, you're exactly right. Like everything you just described. Yeah.
That's just an assumption based on what I know about you as a person.
Yeah. Well, valid point. I would also say, behaviorally speaking, I could not have somebody who is a high achiever, well organized. They need to be somewhat organized, but not like super well fucking organized. just because I would feel bad the entire fucking time because they'd be doing way fucking better than
You wouldn't
me.
picture Nick would not be with the guy that, I don't know if this term's considered offensive or not, but the term that he wouldn't be with what you would refer to as like a twink.
Yep.
He wouldn't be with that type of guy.
Nope.
I think he would like a more masculine type guy.
Same.
I would say middle of the rung between the two.
Is twink considered offensive? I don't know if that's an offensive term. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not a twink, so I wouldn't say.
I don't know.
You know,
I know exactly what you're saying with that. And
a guy is a little more flamboyant or a little more feminine in their behavior.
Skinny and young and tiny and no, thank you. That motherfucker's not sitting with me at a fucking buffet. That person ain't, like I'm wasting my money by bringing them to a buffet. That's not happening.
Nick wants a guy who's a little more manly.
I want a guy who can put food away like me. Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to not feel like a fat
big
kid.
hairy men.
Yeah, I don't want to be the fat kid in the relationship. I want to be equally fat with my partner.
Girl, same.
Right, like, and honest to God, like my partner now, female partner currently, I'm engaged to her, but like we eat. Like we fucking eat, and I dig the hell out of it. And every time she goes, "Oh, I'm gaining a little bit of weight," and she says it in almost like putting herself down kind of way. I'm like, no, you're not. No. Plus, we eat, sweetie. That's what we do. We ain't Italian, but we eat, and I'm a big fan of that. Like, I know full well when we go out to eat, she ain't getting the shitty tiny salad that cost $18, right? She's getting food. And we're going to enjoy it together. We're going to share it together.
Same.
I dig that. We watch similar movies. We both love romantic comedies because we're both fucking fools for fucking romance. That's what we are. Granted, I don't like touching people, but like I got proximity problems, right? So we're still cutesy about it, but we just don't like, on the couch fucking thing because that our faces would be too close. But we still hold hands and touch sometimes, just not through the whole movie. But like we still enjoy them together. And I dig being with my partner because for one, my partner lets me unmask. B, she's taking the time to try to understand some of these differences and nuances about me. She doesn't just take me as a dude, right? And that was one of the problems I had with a lot of my previous partners was they took me as the presentation more so than the human.
They expect you to fulfill a certain role.
Right. Like they expected me to take out the garbage and good luck with that one. Fuck. Like traditional male-female roles in the household, me and my partner currently do not necessarily, right? Like either one of us can do the dishes. Either one of us can take out the garbage. Either one of us can do, although I'm kind of lazy. I need her to remind me to do shit, which is pretty male-based of behavior, right? But, I still ask her. Although one of my favorite things, and I don't know if you have this issue in your relationship, but when a partner asks you to do something, I immediately say no. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Just tell me you need something done. Don't ask me to do shit. Would you mind taking out the garbage? Yes, I would. It's fucking cold outside. No, instead she goes, Nick, take it out. And I'm like, all right, cool.
That kind of ask is more or less, I think, very not unique, but I think it's taught to women a lot.
Yes, it
to
is.
Just like
yes.
do that. And it irks my partner to no end. And it's like, I'm so sorry, but it's been ingrained in me since birth to ask like that.
Same thing with
it's really hard to unlearn.
Yeah.
For some reason, I like growing up, if my mom asked me to do something, I found it more annoying than her just telling me to do something.
Right.
Like, can you do this? It sounded like annoying and nacky to me. I'm like, just tell me what you want me to do.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
My partner tries to avoid nagging me. And I said, but I don't find any of it nagging. If you have to remind me to do something 4 fucking times, it's because I fucking forgot. Fucking remind me. Especially if you want it to get done. Right? If you have a time frame, you need that done, and you might nag me for it. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't annoy me when people do that. I don't like being I don't like being asked. So I don't like it when people say, would you like to? No, I wouldn't. Can you? Yes, I can. Do you want me to do it? I really do want you to. Okay, cool. Just say, go do. Like, I have no problem in the world with that. But
if they don't know you, then you have to explain it.
But that's why, very early on in our relationship, we both broke down who we are, opposed to the expectation of, well, when you're in a relationship with a woman or with a man, here's how you do things. No, we started talking to each other from day one about who we are as human beings and what we expect as human beings, not the social derived whatever. It
took me and my partner maybe like a year or two, because we were still like nice to each other and like dating and stuff. And then we started living together, and he's like, I need you to actually talk to me. And I was like, I am sorry, I'm trying.
Yeah, the words need to be used. The words. Yeah.
So that was on
I'm not good at expressing what I need. I think our
people are really bad at that, Steve.
Well, I also look at it maybe as a guy, like as a male thing. Like I think men, there's a certain expectation placed upon you, especially when I was growing up. Like I'm supposed to just take care of myself or be self-sufficient. So I have a hard time asking for help. Like I'll do everything I can to do it myself without asking for anything. And so that's maybe like I don't know if you want to call it a toxic masculinity thing or whatever it is, but it's like it's hard for me to bring myself to actually ask for help. I try to do it myself.
Because men are told to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
People jump in to help women.
But even being aware of it, I still have a hard time not doing it. You know what I mean? It's like I know that I do that, but it's still hard for me to actually ask somebody for help.
I mean, me and Natalie are still trying to figure out life. I mean, we've been together for 7 years now. Literally this month is 7 years that we've been together, and we're still trying to figure out things together, right?
It's like I'll do something by myself and like injure myself before I ask somebody to help me. I'll like slice my finger open.
I broke that fucking conditioning in myself. I long before I get to the point where I'm going to hurt myself or overly push myself, I fucking ask for help now. And I had to beat that conditioning too.
Be out in the rain or like there'll be a foot of snow outside and I'm changing a tire by myself in a fucking storm because I don't want to ask somebody to help me.
My ass will see that snow and immediately be like, I need some help because I need this done quicker than
I can't call AAA. I'm a man. Let me change this tire myself.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I'm paying for AAA. Them bitches are coming out and changing my tire. I'm paying for
I know how to change a tire. I mean, I can do it. It's just, should I do it by myself? I don't know. But
I can fix most shit on a car, but I'd rather pay somebody to do it just so I don't break a nail.
Well, it's easier for them to do it because they have better tools.
Or a finger, whatever.
I don't mind changing the tire, but the thing that sucks is if you're doing it on the side of the road, you're using those shitty fucking tools that come in your back of your trunk.
Oh, yeah.
So it takes forever to take lug nuts off with that shitty lug wrench.
Absolutely.
That's what I don't like. If I have a fucking pneumatic drill or what do you call it?
Yep. No, you had it right.
Yeah. I don't mind using one of those. Comes right off.
So I want to point this out. Like Steve is saying, I wouldn't mind if, but I hate that fucking wrench thing, right? No shit. Get AAA, dude. You ain't got to do it. You're paying somebody else to do it.
I think I have roadside assistance included with my insurance. But
most of us do now.
I don't have AAA. I have whatever's included with Progressive.
But here's the thing with it, though. Like, you're also identifying moments that would be overwhelming to you. And that's something that men, especially autistic men, need to get better at doing. Because
that's why I don't drive.
Oh, at all?
I used to have a car. I learned how to drive. I got my license at 26.
Okay.
And I learned how to drive in the Midwest. And then I moved down to Florida, and everything was well labeled and everything. And it was pretty easy to drive in Florida. And then I moved here to Atlanta. And I was like, no.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
I just take Ubers everywhere or Lyfts, and it's basically the same amount of money per year. It's so much less of a headache.
Yes.
Sorry to derail the conversation, but I have a question that just popped into my head. How did you discover our show, Emily? Because I know you've been listening for a while.
Wait. Let me guess.
Can you just let her talk?
No, because she's already criticized me once for interrupting every woman. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay.
I like how he's answering the question of how you found the show.
No. Because I want to guess.
I want to hear what he wants.
I want to guess.
He wants to guess.
But first, before I do that, I want to point out that I am just kidding. Yes, I saw your comment about it, but I took it as partially in jest, you saying it that way.
It was more or less very annoying.
What?
What you were doing on that episode was you were interrupting your women guests every single time they tried to talk, and they almost never finished the story. I know you were, and I love that about you.
Don't stifle the Nick. Sorry.
I tell him to shut up all the time.
He does. In fact, after the first 6
I'm like, we have
episodes,
someone on who's supposed to be talking to us, and they don't fucking say anything because you're talking the whole time. Let them fucking talk.
So
It's not just women. He does it with everybody.
I do it with everybody.
Yeah.
At the end of the first 6 episodes, almost the first words out of his mouth when we hit stop for the record was like, dude, can you shut the fuck up? The only problem I have when people point that out is because like that's a fucking thing. Like it's a fucking thing for autistic folks to just fucking right. But also because I was told constantly growing up by a certain human being, I only want to hear my own voice, and I only talk just to hear my own voice, and I babble all the time and all of that kind of horrible shit. So like when I hear stuff like that, my initial thought is, well, fuck, there's something wrong. Right? There's something wrong.
Oh,
with
I
me.
don't think there was something wrong.
And
it was just like an impulse thing.
Yes, which I think I mentioned in that episode. At times, that's why I do this, because I'm literally holding myself back from talking.
I noticed it more after my comment, and I was like, well, maybe he read my comment.
He pointed it out to me. And
yeah,
he pointed it out to me after I'd already mentioned it and I did this. Because if you look at the earlier episodes when we first started doing the video, I'm still doing this because I'm trying not to interrupt him, even though it didn't really work all that well. I still ended up doing it. So,
well, I think you've gotten a lot better.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Stop interrupting the women, you sexist asshole.
All right.
Just because you think their opinion doesn't matter doesn't mean you have to like wear it on your sleeve.
Don't, sir.
Wow.
You don't have to be so overt with your sexism. Just like,
Yeah, but as you just pointed out, I cut everybody the fuck off.
Just pretend at least,
Okay, so how did I start listening to the podcast?
So here's my assumption of this, and it could be horribly off base, but I want to take a stab at this shit. I'm assuming that you saw us on Facebook. You were one of the 36,000 people who follow us on the Facebook, and we happened to have posted up about the podcast on the Spotifys, and you went to the Spotifys and started listening.
Nope.
Well, I'm horribly fucking wrong. So how did you come across our podcast?
It was my manager at work.
What?
Or a coworker at work. The other guy who was neurospicy.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Maybe you shouldn't make fucking assumptions, Nick.
Yo, shut up. I like it. All right? It's like figuring out a fucking puzzle.
I think that you were one of the 36,000 people on the book page who...
Maybe I wanted to humble brag that we have 36,000 fuckers who follow us on Facebook.
This is why he makes me cringe.
That's pretty cool.
Emily, he makes me cringe sometimes. Internally, I'm cringing because I'm not a braggart like him.
I'm shit. I will self-promote like a motherfucker.
I try to be a little bit more humble. I'm very like low-key. I
have a lot
more
of
humility
trouble with self-promotion, so I understand both.
Like I don't like to even accidentally sound like I'm bragging.
So
I get self-conscious. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn here. Like before, and I was talking about like women doing stuff to me or flirting with me. I'm like, it's not like I was getting hit on by women 24/7. Like I'm so hot or something. Like I wasn't bragging, but
so
right.
I went a good period of time in my life. Well, I mentioned before that I danced ballet as a kid. I denied for a very long time every good thing that I ever did, every accomplishment I made. I never talked about achievements that I made. I would never talk about it ever, and I felt like shit because of it. And then one day in my 30s, after I got diagnosed with bipolar, I was sitting in therapy, and my therapist said, "Why do you never point out anything good?" And I was like, what the fuck? That's not how a therapist should talk. And she goes, I'm really sorry, but for the last year and a half, you've never told me any accomplishment you've ever made. And that's not possible. It is not possible to be in your 30s and to have never done anything of worth. Tell me one thing you've done well in your life. And I stopped and couldn't think of anything. Couldn't think of it. And it took me a bunch of years to come around to the idea that I am capable of doing something well. And then I got reminded by my mom that not only did I dance ballet, that I was ashamed of telling anybody about, but I was the youngest male to ever dance for Hartford Ballet Company at the time. And I was the youngest person to ever perform in the Nutcracker for Hartford Ballet on Bushnell stage.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now I can say that kind of stuff. Now I can say things like, I loved ballet more than I loved any fucking thing else in my life at that given time.
I don't think it's not necessarily like you can't say something else about yourself. Sometimes it's the way you say things.
Yeah, but
like because
now
it sounded like you were bragging.
Yeah. So basically what I'm getting to is I spent so many years not letting myself mention any of my accomplishments that I'm going way overboard in the other direction now. So
but
now
it's also how you learn the right vocab to promote yourself.
Yeah.
Like if your parents never like brag about you, then you don't learn the vocab or the vernaculars to brag about yourself.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I mean, my mother always she tells me that she brags about things I have done and the things that I do, but I've never heard it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I never heard her talk to anybody about the fact her son did ballet.
That's kind of how my parents were. They don't often say anything nice to my face. It's more like when I'm not around, they say nice things about me.
And by the way, that is not me making fun of my mother or shitting on my upbringing by any means. Like, that woman did amazing considering the son she fucking has. Like, it could not have been easy to have this exuberant of a human being.
Sure, we'll use that
but
word.
that's why I kind of go overboard when I promote things now. Like when I promote our improv group or this podcast to people, I'm very direct and I don't know, very braggadocious about it, if you will, because of that. Because it's basically overcompensating for it, as well as I am so super fucking proud of it. And like, fuck it, people need to know how goddamn proud I am of the two of us doing this podcast and sticking with it.
We're still, as we've been doing it, still figuring out, finding our voice, figuring out what we're doing. Also, I think at times we're a little self-conscious about doing it because we're too like, well, you're in your 40s, but we're too middle-aged white guys,
Yes. But there's also like a matter of like, is our opinion important? Whether we're, middle-aged white men or not, is what we have to say important?
Well, it's also why I've tried to push. I'm not saying that Nick wasn't on board with it, but I'm just saying like it was important to me to try to have women on or have people who have different backgrounds than us.
Right.
People from different ethnic backgrounds, different nationalities. We've had people on. We had that gentleman from Australia. We had that woman from Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
We've had people on from. It was important to me to have other representation because we both live in the same area. We have, our backgrounds aren't exactly similar, but
it's similar enough.
But people would assume, we're two white guys. But I wanted to have other voices, and I wanted to make sure I heard from women because I don't know what the female experience is like in certain ways. So that was important to me. Like, hey, it's fine that we talk and we shoot the shit, but I want to hear from other people too.
Yeah, we want to.
No, I really like that.
Yeah, we want to include everybody, every voice.
I used to listen to a podcast. It was like three white guys talking about Disney movies.
Oh.
And it was awesome. It was like great perspective because they were like kind of like three generations talking about it, and it was really interesting. But they never had a woman or a person of color on. They never had any guests. So it was all just from the male perspective. And I'm like, you guys are missing out on so many different viewpoints, and I had to stop listening to them.
I would like to have more people of color on, not just for like and like tokenism. I need more people.
Yeah,
of color,
we don't need to check boxes. We want it on so we can learn.
Like it's not like it's not like a prerequisite. Like we can only have we need a black person on this week or whatever. It's just whoever. But at the same time, when I've gone on some of the websites to find people, like there's websites where you can find people to be on your podcast, like people who are. Yeah, Matchmaker was one of them, but there's like, I look for people who are neurodivergent. I don't find a lot of people of color available on the sites that I've looked. It doesn't mean they're not there. I'm just saying I haven't found a lot of people to invite on.
There's a website where you can go on to be on other podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's websites,
Matchmaker.fm.
That's one of them, yeah. That's the one that Spotify recommended.
By the way, I think we just told Emily about how she's going to get on more podcasts.
Yeah.
Saw that one.
But I would like to find more people who are on the spectrum or...
Well, and I've reached out to some through TikTok.
Yeah.
I actually approach people on TikTok and Instagram and stuff and ask them if they'll be on the show. And I have asked a couple of at least presenting African-American females to be on our show.
I would like to hear like how if or like what sort of tie-in there is between the challenges of being neurodivergent or being on the spectrum, and also like the racial element, like if you're a black person in America and you're treated a certain way because you're black, how does that also tie in with the difficulties of being on the spectrum?
And also, and does it
a lot of misunderstandings probably?
Yeah. And you being on the spectrum, does that make it harder?
We can't talk about that. So
no, like
right.
I wouldn't even know the first place to approach that conversation, because like, how the fuck would I approach that conversation?
But I want to hear from people like that. I just, find somebody who wants to come on and talk about it. It's not even just finding them, but like, I don't know what websites to go to besides the ones we've been to find guests.
I think it's a matter of like, just as we did today, like we didn't know that the woman who was waiting on us at the coffee place was, autistic until me and you started talking about our podcast. And then she goes, "Oh yeah, I'm autistic."
We met one of our people today.
To me, that's one of the benefits of being as forthright as I am about being autistic, about our podcast, being as braggadocious as I am, is because I also hear from people who say, "Oh yeah, me too." And so I can find more voices that way. And again, I reach out to people, like I said, on other social media stuff. Like if they look different than us, or if they're identifying different than us, I try to reach out to them. But one person actually said we didn't have large enough of a podcast yet. Like that was months and months ago too. And I kind of went, okay, then, no, I get it. Because they wanted to be able to promote their nonprofit and shit like that. And, if the reach isn't big enough of a podcast, I get it. For practical reasons, I understand. Like, why waste your fucking time for an hour and a half, or
we're
3
gonna
hours
have
like today?
Jesse Jackson on next month.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. That'd be fucking hilarious to me. Jesus, I'd just be like, hey, so what was
you guys
Martin
should
Luther
have a
King like?
Republican on.
What?
A Republican?
You guys should have a Republican on. I want to
an autistic Republican?
Do those exist?
Of course they exist.
They probably do.
Actually, it was kind of a thing that a lot of, and I think I talked about this before in one episode, but there was a lot of people during the Trump years, a lot of people on the spectrum who fell kind of down like an alt-right rabbit hole, who got sucked in by a lot of the alt-right stuff online, because it's easy for our people sometimes to get tunnel vision.
Rabbit hole. Yep.
Which, by the way, is a pretty cool TV show. Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland. It's on never mind.
But
just look
I
it up. It's
wouldn't
cool
mind
drama.
having like a conservative autistic person on.
I would actually find it very, very fascinating. Speaking of which, how did we start this? Wasn't there a question you were asked and you were starting to answer, and then we went down this fucking path?
By conservative, what do you mean by conservative? Like how conservative? Like religious conservative?
Says the Republican.
Like how conservative? Like religious Christian?
I guess religious Christian.
Because there's people on the right who aren't super religious, but like how Republican do you mean? Like are they like a casual Republican or like hardcore?
Let's call Tucker Carlson.
But he's not even like, he's not a traditional Republican. No. He's more like a populist.
No, yeah. He's just doing it for the like.
He's a Trumpy guy, right? And Trump is not a traditional Republican either.
No.
He's very different.
No.
So like when I think traditional Republican, I think more like Christian, family values, socially conservative, right? Social conservative.
Yeah.
Versus like a lot of the Trumpy people seem to not care as much about the social conservative stuff. They care more about whatever the fuck Trump says, or like owning the libs.
Yeah, I can't even like those kind of Republicans. I can't even identify like fucking talking points for them.
What, social conservatives or like the
the Trumpy ones?
I feel like those are the people who like Rick from Rick and Morty and Bender from Futurama. Those are the people they idolize.
What's wrong with Bender?
It's missing the point about Bender.
I don't think he's like an idol, but I think he's funny.
Yeah, he's funny. It's a funny character. He says funny shit, but that's the point of him. Is
he's
ridiculous. Yeah, like he's ridiculous. Yeah. Nobody should be like, well, I agree with that point of view.
Yeah.
No.
Bobby, what kind of country is it if you can only hate a man if he's what?
Yeah, there you go.
That's a line. That's actually a line from King of the Hill, which I always thought was a really funny line. He's complaining about he didn't like this guy, and they were trying to say that he was racist because he didn't like the guy. He's like, I don't not like him because he's black. I don't like him because he's an asshole or whatever.
I was raised on Daria more than like King of the Hill.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Wasn't that created by the same dude?
No,
I think so.
So the character was.
Yeah, I
Or-
thought
yeah.
Daria was in Beavis and Butthead.
So
universe.
Mike Judge
Yeah.
created Beavis and Butthead and created King of the Hill. And Mike Judge created Daria, but not the show. He created the character Daria.
Right.
But then they made a spinoff,
Right.
which was not made by Mike Judge.
No, somebody else
yeah.
was the showrunner for Daria.
I don't know who that did.
What?
I don't know who
Mike?
ran the show.
No, I don't either.
Oh.
But it wasn't Mike Judge. I know that.
No, it
but Mike
wasn't.
Judge originally, Daria was a side character on Beavis and Butthead.
Yes.
Yeah.
That everybody fucking loved. Yeah. I mean, she was super, super popular.
Yeah.
But anyway, so at one point we did this whole fucking thing and then we went fucking 40 minutes.
Yeah, we're at
I
almost
think
3
it was-
hours.
Oh my good God.
I'm a good conversation.
Which is fine. I was just
Yes,
letting
it
letting
was-
you guys run.
Yeah.
We put
was
it
a
up-
good conversation.
Most people are probably not going to listen to the full 3 hours, but that's fine.
I think we need to do a part 1, part 2 on this motherfucker. Just
Okay.
purely because
I was just going to put it up whole.
Okay.
I don't like to split things up
I know you really don't.
because if somebody listens to part of this one
Uh-huh.
and then they start listening to the next one,
Yeah.
right? First of all, you have to find a good point to segue into the second half, and also if we're in the middle of a conversation, like where's a good point to like segue in, and what if somebody doesn't listen to this one but they listen to the next one? I think it's good to just have the whole thing contained, and they can listen to as much as they want. And we're going to record another episode anyway.
Here we are.
So let people listen. Some people listen to an hour, some people listen to 2, some will listen to 3,
Okay.
and we'll cut out the part you wanted us to cut out. And there's that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Just
We'll-
make
we'll
sure you
definitely do
make
some.
sure somebody reminds me because I usually do the editing.
Hey, Steve, make sure you cut out the part where
Yeah,
she
thanks.
says cut it
I
out.
mean, remind me later.
That's not what you said. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Emily, thank you so much for having coming on our show. I almost said having us on, but it's our show.
It's the Emily show
So,
today.
yeah, it's the Emily show today. Thank you very much for coming on to our show. I really appreciate the amount of patience you gave of how long it took me to fucking get back to you.
Or how
but-
long it took
fine.
him to shut up and let you talk. By the way, before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to promote or
Oh,
anything
yeah.
you'd like to share besides the chocolate? Or you can pitch the chocolate again too.
I have information, but that's my Instagram. I do the I film the grinders going like the
Okay.
chocolate,
Oh,
and so
that's
it's like really mesmerizing to
There you go.
watch.
For anybody not
And
watching the
then-
video, sorry, it says X Emily X.
Yes.
Yes.
And then that's the website of my work.
And it's
So-
Choc I can't
I guess
remember.
you can have it in your show notes.
Okay,
I'll
so
just type
yeah,
it
we're
out
gonna
for
have
you.
to put that into the description.
I will.
'cause
I always do.
Neither me or
I
Steve
will.
could pronounce that.
I can link everything in the description. I usually do.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone actually checks the descriptions on my episodes, but when we put them up, I always link stuff in the
He does.
description. Like
does.
you can click a button to go to whoever the guest
Yeah.
is website. And anybody listening,
just-
check the freaking descriptions. I put stuff in there.
Yeah, fucking read them. Jesus, he's
There's
spending
links in
time to
there.
write them.
I put links
I'll
in
message
there.
you guys on Facebook for the like text and
The book
stuff.
face.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you very much for coming on. Like I said at the beginning, for anybody who actually got this far in, 3 hours in, which by the way, bravo, that's a marathon of listening. I commend you.
I mean,
So you
that
hear
was the
from-
pandemic. I just listened to podcasts
went
like
from,
for 17 hours straight.
Mm.
From chocolate to sexual assault, we covered every topic.
We absolutely did. Yeah. We
All
ruined
margaritas.
childhoods. Yeah, we talked about ruined childhoods and adulthoods not being awesome.
All
either.
the flavors of gay.
All the flavors of gay. Yeah.
I never said my flavor of gay though.
Yeah, you did.
Uh,
Queer.
You said you're figuring it out, I thought.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm figuring it out, but I'm Golden Girls meets Larry David.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. There you go.
Yes.
Pretty,
So
pretty,
a little rum
pretty,
raisin and chocolate mint,
pretty,
I guess. I don't know.
Pretty gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you listened this far into the episode, if you like, dislike, agree, disagree, any of it, if you'd like to correct us, if you'd like to educate any one of the three of us on something we might have said inappropriately, feel free to do so. Give us some comments, give us some feedback. Let us know. What?
It's my last name. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, so comment all you want. Give us some feedback. Tell us some stuff. Ask us some questions. If you'd like to point out that Emily is smarter than both me and Steve, please tell us that as well.
Probably.
And again, thank you for listening to almost 3 hours of all of us talking.
2.5 is Nick talking by himself. So
Jesus. Jesus. All right. So that's probably true. And if you are a consistent listener of this show, you know I talk a lot, and well, clearly you like it because you keep listening. So bravo. Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
Bye. Thank you, Emily.